Wouldn't say so, no.
Okay, but you understand that there's already conception in some circumstances, and that the IUD in some circumstances prevents implantation.
IUD prevents the conception from occurring.
Not only conception, but also implantation in some
What do you
circumstances,
mean?
depending. Yeah, in some circumstances, the IUD prevents not only conception but also implantation, meaning it prevents a conceived cell from implanting into the uterine wall.
Okay.
Okay, so
I mean,
under your view, in those
I'm saying, well,
circumstances, would that be murder?
I think you're looking at it from a perspective in which like you're trying to find like specific scenarios to apply, and I think in that way it kind of takes away from like it takes away from the premise of your argument. I think the main point is of the pro-life movement is that life begins at conception and life is valuable in its foreseeable future after pregnancy, and it's not right to
Okay, so
stop that
if there's a
development.
zygote that
Oh,
doesn't have a future, then you're saying it's not valuable,
why would a zygote not have a future?
because it is the case that it doesn't have the ability to sustain itself by on its alone. If it's specifically in a petri dish, right? Does it have a future?
If it, I don't know, maybe someone can try that and tell me, but I would say no.
No, it doesn't have a future.
If it's in a petri dish, as you just said, I would say probably not, from my own guess.
Okay. By the way, if someone's going to get an abortion prior to the point of sentience, do they have a future?
If what?
So, yeah, do they have a future?
I didn't
If
hear
it,
you.
do they have a future if it is the case that someone gets an abortion?
If somebody gets an abortion, then no, the child inside the womb does not have a future.
Okay, so given that it is the case that the abortion would entail that they didn't have a future, and it is the case that there was no past or present
But how
established
do you?
in terms of a
That's
subjective
not.
experience,
That doesn't
you
make
would say
logical
and you
sense
would
because had
agree
you not
that
decided
if
to
there
abort
wasn't,
that child, they would have a
listen,
future.
listen, if there was an abortion, there would never be a subjective experience ever. So what really are you valuing? If it is the case that there's never been a subjective experience ever.
Are you familiar with the harm theoretic view?
I'm familiar with some people's conceptions of it. Maybe you have a different.
I mean, so in the harm theoretic view, in my my scope, it's that if I were to contract like a terminal illness, for example, right, that would be sure to take my life. I would be robbed of all the pleasures that would to become had I not contracted that terminal illness. Like I would miss out, like maybe on like seeing my kid's graduation, like something like that, right? And I think that same principle applies to an individual after conception. I believe that if you decide to take away that development, you're robbing it of its foreseeable future, which would occur had you not decided to commit that action to take their life.
Okay, so then here would be my point is that then you could say it this way, like, would it be wrong specifically to pull out given that you knew that it would be the case that there would be a child if it is the case that you didn't? If you knew for
It would not be wrong
certain
to pull out
that it
because
was,
there's no combination of the male and female cells. Therefore, it's not wrong. I believe that anything after the male and
so
female
you're saying
cells
it's a
combined,
conjunction, you're saying it's a conjunction of there being a cellular life and there being a future experience, right? It's not just the future in of itself that you value.
what do you mean?
I'm saying that there's a conjunction of traits, right?
Okay.
Right?
Ooh. What's the premise? Where are you going with that?
Well, I'm just asking, why do you choose the conjunction of traits that starts with specifically life and ends with subjective experience rather than starting with subjective experience and ending with subjective experience?
I'm not fully tracking here, but I mean, did you understand the view? Could you break it down to me what I just
A
said?
conjunction is this and this, then grants it value, right?
Okay.
Okay. So if
You're
that's
not asking me a question. You're making a statement.
yeah, and I was just I asked you, dude, are you listening?
I am listening. You just told me what a
Conjunction.
conjunction is.
Yes, I'm telling you. So if I'm asking under both of them, like, why do you start with right life and end with subjective experience rather than beginning with subjective experience and then also ending with subjective experience in the conjunction?
Because I believe that the male, when the cells combine, that's when it gains its value. Anything before that, I don't believe that it's valuable.
Say it again.
I believe that the combination of cells is what gives it the value. A fertilized egg has human value in it, but I don't believe that them on its like independently a male cell and independently a female cell. I don't believe that they have value.
Okay, I'm confused what you're trying to say. I'm asking, like, in the conjunction, if you're talking about the conjunction of the two different traits that you value. You value life and future subjective experience. Mine is past or present and future subjective experience. Those are my two values.
Okay, so
You
I'll tell
start
you
with
this.
life,
So if you
biological
value,
life, but you
if you,
don't end with biological life. I start with subjective experience and I also end with subjective experience. So it's clear in both scenarios what I'm valuing is the subjective experience. But for
so
you,
when,
you for some reason do life and then subjective experience. Why do you do that?
well, let me ask you this. So you said you value past, present, and future. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
So when do you think your life began, Parker?
When do I think my life began? When I
Yeah.
refer to life, I refer to subjective experience. So I
So
think
you're
that
saying when you gained consciousness as a 4-year-old,
so the
or like
cellular
3 or
life
4,
of
that's
my
when you gained your.
the cellular life began at conception, but I think
Okay.
life, in terms of the way that I view it, in terms of personhood, began like around 20 through 24 weeks in the womb.
Okay, and is that because the brain activity and that?
Is that because of
It was,
the?
it wasn't it. I think heart waves or heartbeats began at like 5 to 6 weeks. Brain waves around, was it 6 weeks as well, or was that
No. So like,
what specific value was it at 20?
It's
Whatever you
yeah,
said that.
it's going to be the certain aspects of the brain that are necessary to produce a subjective experience. Just being brainwaves isn't necessary to produce a subjective experience, right? That's not enough, right? There are
Well, yeah,
brainwaves that exist in
I wouldn't
brain-dead
know if.
individuals, yet that doesn't produce a subjective experience.
Well, I mean, it's really nuanced here because I could say that the experience is the future for the womb, or the not the womb. The experience is the future for the individual inside of the womb.
Say that again.
The experience is the future for the individual inside of the womb. So if you had you not decided to had you not decided to perform an AB, that child would have gone on to have a future. There is a foreseeable future in its life, and I believe that taking that life away is robbing it of the experiences and the pleasures of life. In this era.
Okay, well, you technically are robbing cellular life from an individual who's brain dead. You don't value cellular life; you value subjective experience, right?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Okay. Well, your conjunction is past life and future life, then, right? Not past life, present life, and then future subjective experience. So what is your conjunction? You haven't made it clear.
I'm not understanding what you mean, Parker. I believe that after conception, there is a foreseeable future for that child inside the womb.
Keep repeating the same thing I've already discussed.
You're not making a very Okay, but what's your point? You're asking me to make a conjecture? Is that what it is?
What? No, conjunction. Conjunction is saying that you have two different characteristics that you value insofar as that there's going to be personhood in a particular scenario. You're saying that it's life plus a future subjective experience, right?
Yeah.
That was your conjunction, okay? So essentially what I'm saying is that your first aspect of the conjunction is life. Your second aspect of the conjunction is a future subjective experience.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
My conjunction is past or present subjective experience and then future subjective experience. So I start with subjective experience, I end with subjective experience. Okay, for you, you start with cellular life, but you end with subjective experience. Why would the first set of value you have be for cellular life, and then the second one is for sentient life, rather than just both sentient life?
Well, I don't believe that the value of life is based on sentience. I believe that.
You do.
I do.
It's one of the aspects of your conjunction.
So go ahead and break down to me why I do.
Your conjunction is cellular life and future subjective experience. So it relies on future subjective experience being present in order for you to say that you would value it.
Well, I don't know what you mean by I'm not really understanding the premise of what you're saying. So
Nothing about what I'm saying is confusing.
I agree with you that life and a foreseeable future, or I guess that's what you could say is whatever it was. But your point is that you believe that past and present is what defines a human.
Past or present subjective experience, and then future subjective experience is what is going to qualify the value for people, right? Under my perspective, right? It sounds like you are arguing also for a conjunction, which means this and this grants value, that both of them have to exist simultaneously for something to be granted value. Yours is cellular life and future subjective experience. Because if it were just cellular life, well, then it would be murder to pull the plug on individuals in your family that are brain dead. So the way that you responded to that was by saying that you had a conjunction of traits: cellular life, future subjective experience. Okay, so I'm asking you, why is one cellular life and the other sentient life, rather than doing both of the aspects of the conjunction in terms of sentient life?
Because you're talking, when you keep bringing up the like sentient example, like we can go back to the brain dead individual. If there is no foreseeable future for him, I believe that there is no value of his life at that point in the like going forward. There's value in his past experiences, but there would not be value in his like future. And I believe that that same principle, or well, not the same principle, but I believe that I can apply a similar principle to a child inside the womb, and I would say that there is a foreseeable future for it, and that is part of what gives it the value of its life.
Okay, I don't think we're getting anywhere.
Okay. Thank you for your time, Parker.
Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. What's up, how old are you?
I'm sorry.
You're good, you're good. Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you do meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up, how old are you? Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request again if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everyone. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
31.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I try to. I believe so.
Like, if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
I don't know if I would vote for either of them.
Okay. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up, how old are you? Okay. That was very unfortunate. Let's go on the next individual. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
I'm 20.
Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Probably not Trump.
Okay. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, how old are you?
23.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes.
Okay. If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
I choose Trump.
Okay. What state do you live in?
California.
What time is it?
Okay, I'm European.
Okay. All right, let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up, how old are you? Okay, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you do meet that set of criteria again listed on the TikTok screen. I apologize, everyone. It takes a second for people to get in here. Sometimes I do apologize. Do give it a second. Yo, what's up, how old are you? Push the corgi, thank you. Yo, what's up, how old are you? Blossom, thank you for the galaxy, thank you. By the way, Joseph, in the comment section, it's U''RE. Kelly, thank you so much for the Oh, I can't hear myself now. Why can't I hear myself? Oh, hold up. Wait, that unplugged. I'm so confused. What the hell? What the hell? Since when? Alright, do give it a second, everyone. Alright, we're good. We're back. Alright, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, what's up?
Do you support Trump?
Oh. Love you, Parker. Thank you for educating people.
Appreciate you. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Oh, webcam on immediately. I just kick. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
23.
Do you support Trump?
Parker, I support Luka Doncic. Okay, if you look at what he's doing.
Absolutely diabolical. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Chupapi mo fucking inyo, chupapi mo fucking.
Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
28.
Do you support Trump?
I'm sorry, Parker. I love you. Thank you for educating.
Let's go on the next individual. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yo, what's up? How old are you? Alrighty, let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Again, we are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Alrighty, let's go on the next individual. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 18.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah, of course.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay. And what's your birth year?
My birth year, 07.
And what month?
March.
And you said you were how old again?
18.
Okay. Why do you support Trump?
Yeah, because I personally hold to economical synthetic nigger theory,
You're
which states that all
so disgusting. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that sort of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
18.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
What's your birth year?
2006. 6th of May.
And you said you're 18?
19 now.
Okay. And what state do you live in?
New Zealand.
Wow, new state just dropped, everybody. Trump annexed a new region. He said New Zealand is the newest state in the United States. It's a new state. New state, I heard. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh. You can hear me?
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes, I do. Can you hear me?
Okay. And what's your birth year?
My birth year? I was born in 06.
And you said you're how old?
I'm 19.
What's your birth month?
My birth month is March.
Okay. And if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Most likely Donald Trump.
Why so?
Because he supports economical nigger theory.
So weird. Low IQ. Literally low IQ. No arguments from Trump supporters at all. Literally just fucking slurs. No arguments. No arguments. They're not even rational. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
I love you.
Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up,
Hi,
how old are you?
hello, can you hear me? 21.
What state do you live in?
Texas.
What time is it?
2 p.m.
2 p.m.? In Texas? Really?
Yeah.
Really? It's literally 3:51. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
20.
Do you support Trump?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay, if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Probably Kanye West.
Okay, let's go on the next individual. We're literally not even getting debates right now.
I'm 21.
Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
Mainly for freedom and protection, to protect ourselves from intruders by having guns.
Okay, what freedom and what protection?
By having guns, so if one breaks in, we can defend ourselves.
Okay, so what freedom are you referencing? Freedom to what? What do you need freedom to?
First Amendment right.
Your First Amendment right is the freedom of speech. That's actually something Donald Trump's undermined because he actually put people. I honestly think that person's trolling. I agree, champ. I just can we get like an actual debate, please? I want to actually. This is getting a little bit of a waste of time. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo, what's up? I'm 18.
What's your birth year?
2007.
Yeah, if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Probably Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
I mean, we could start off with how he's a little bit more pro-life than Kamala. He's given the rights to the states instead of just outright handing it.
Okay, so why would you specifically say leaving it to the states would be beneficial?
Why would I say? I don't think it is beneficial. I'm more pro-life than Donald Trump, but I think that he's a better candidate than Kamala Harris, who would outright give it to he would outright, allow abortions to happen.
Okay. Well, one, we haven't necessarily seen like a restriction in the level of abortion. We've seen abortion rates go up since Roe versus Wade has been overturned. Secondly, we can also point to the fact that maternal mortality rate has gone up, alongside the fact that we can also reference that in terms of these policies, that the change in the rate of difference specifically isn't something that would even be something that would be that relevant. And even if you did specifically base it on that position, most of these abortions are happening at very early stages of the pregnancy. So I would just ask, why do you care about it at that point?
Because I think life has value from conception, because that's when life begins.
Okay. All right. So then do you think that cellular life is the basis for all value?
I wouldn't say so. It is a sperm has cellular life. That doesn't mean that a sperm has intrinsic value. I believe that specifically after conception, it's not cellular life anymore. It is a life. It is a human, and that human has potential.
It is cellular life at conception because it's a single cell organism. And
You can apply it. You can apply that, and you could say cellular life, yes, but it is also a human life. I think right now I am cellular life as well, but I mean,
but
what was
you
the
have more
question
than
you just
that.
asked?
You have sentient life. Like, so for example, do you think it's murder? Do you think it's murder for a family to pull the plug on an individual in their family that's brain dead?
If there's no foreseeable future for that individual, then I would say that no, it's not wrong to do so.
So the same question that I had for the last guest: why do you start your conjunction between life and subjective experience with cellular life rather than starting with sentient life?
Well, because I think if value depends on what someone has already done, then I mean, what about the individuals who don't have a past yet, like the unborn or like elderly with like memory loss? I mean, I think that doesn't give them any less.
They have a past and a present. So
Yeah, but
mine's
not a
past or
sentient
mine-
past.
They do. Yes, they do. It's past or present and future
Not-
subjective experience.
Not consciously. I mean, I think we're gonna have to disagree on that because I believe that that might just be that might just be a fundamental
experience. Memory doesn't mean experience. Like, for example, I get elevated all the time. There's a lot I don't remember, but that doesn't mean I didn't have an experience. I still have a sentient past, even though I literally, like, for example, I don't remember a lot of things that happened on the stream. That doesn't mean I wasn't sentient while it was happening. That wouldn't make any sense.
Well, okay. Well, let's talk about this, okay? So we can do a few views. We can do, flow. We can do harm theoretic, or we can just talk about. I think the best one to apply to use. I've heard someone use the harm theoretic view on you. So we'll just use we'll use Western reason and logic. So if a armed individual were to break into your house forcefully and point a pew-pew at you, and you had your own pew-pew, if you were to take his life before he would take yours, which he would take yours, is that self-defense, or is that unjustified unaliving?
That's self-defense.
That would be self-defense. So there is a difference. You would agree that there would be a difference between, how do I say it? Unjustified unaliving and self-defense, right? You draw a line there?
Of course.
Right. So let me ask you this. When do you believe that life begins?
Cellular life or sentient life?
I mean, I would say cellular life. When do you believe cellular life begins?
Conception.
So you're saying that... Okay, well, you actually bring up another point, because you say cellular life as in you don't believe that a human life is present at conception. So when does it... At what point does
human cellular life is present at conception?
Okay, so why was... If you're admitting that it's a human, then how come human rights don't apply to it? The first principle of human rights is you may not take a life.
Okay, so then you would say the same thing for individuals that are brain dead, right?
Well, I would say there's no foreseeable future for that individual, so you're not making a very validated argument.
So they haven't had a past or present, so why do you consider it valuable?
Well, hold on. Now, it depends on the specific circumstances of a given situation, but I would say that let's talk about a random motorcyclist who gets into an accident and now he's in the hospital, right, and he's brain dead. I would say that his past has value, yes, and his future, had that not happened to him, also would have value in it for him. But at that point in time, if there is no foreseeable future, as in he will succumb to his injuries, then I don't believe that there's a foreseeable future for that individual. And I think it really depends on the application of it, on whether you should pull the plug or not.
Foreseeable future in what means? Like, are you referencing foreseeable future in terms of subjective experience, or foreseeable future in terms of cellular life? And did you just say that it was okay to someone who was sentient? Or am I mistaking what you said?
I said a brain dead individual.
Okay, sorry, I apologize.
I said specifically.
You don't think it's murder. You don't think it's murder to pull the plug. So in that
if there's no, so let me ask you a question. If there's no foreseeable future for an individual who's brain dead, what would you define that as having no foreseeable future?
I think you're referencing subjective experience.
Okay, right. So you're saying
they have the ability to have a future cellular life. They just don't have the ability for a future subjective experience.
Well, I'm specifically that's where we must have had a miscommunication, because I'm saying that their cellular life, yes, it may continue if they remain on life support. However, I believe that you good?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that if there's no foreseeable future for the individual, as in they will succumb to their injuries, then I would say in most circumstances it would be acceptable to pull the plug. And I don't think that same logic applies to an individual in the womb, as there will be a human, just in your own definitions, there will be your definition of a human life had you not decided to AB it.
But it sounds like the life that you consider valuable in this connotation then is sentient life, not cellular life, right? Because if
no. Well, I mean, is a zygote sentient?
No, it's not sentient.
And I still value a zygote, so I think you're mistaken, Parker.
Well, you're saying that you value future subjective experience, right? That's the connection that you said that you value that's separate, right?
That doesn't define sentience, but go ahead.
What subjective experience is referencing sentience?
Well, I mean, if you're applying it that way, then yeah. But go ahead.
What do you mean? What does sentient mean to you?
I just asked you what it means.
I just told you. What do you think sentient means?
I would say a foreseeable future.
What? Future for future what?
A foreseeable future
Of what?
of life and experiences.
Experiences. Okay. Right?
Right.
Okay, so it is subjective experience.
You can make that argument, yeah. So when do you
You
believe
see
that?
it as-
When would you say an individual gains value?
At subjective experience, 20 through 24 weeks in the womb.
Okay, so would you disagree with individuals who say that full 9 months AB is okay? Would you disagree with that?
Well, I think that it's morally wrong in elective circumstances after 20 through 24 weeks, but I don't think people are just choosing to do elective lethal abortions at that point. I think that it's going to be an induction of early labor.
Oh, what? Sorry, I didn't hear you correctly.
I think at that point, people are just doing induction of early labor, right? At the point of viability, they're not specifically doing lethal abortions after that point.
Okay, well, I mean, early labor as in, like, birthing the child due to medical circumstances. Is that your point?
Yeah, it's going to be like early, like induced labor.
Okay, and do you believe that that's inherently wrong, or do you believe that that's okay?
I think that's okay. Push the gem guy.
Okay, good. Well, I would agree with you there. I believe that that's okay because you're still providing an outlet for the child to live. Let me ask you this. So, do you think that in cases in which a mother would, like, a pregnancy is, kind of tampering with her ability to live, would you say that it would be okay to AB the child, or would you say a cesarean section would be a better procedure?
Well, if it's at the point in which you can have if it's at viability, then yeah, people would just induce labor.
Okay. And I mean, so what cases would you say, are you pro-choice for all circumstances?
Am I pro-choice? Like, I'm pro-choice, and I don't think that people are just choosing to have willy-nilly lethal abortions after my point in which I consider it valuable.
Well, so let me.
Conversation.
So why do you think
40 minutes?
Why do you think
about at this point?
Well, I mean, we can go into the statistics of it too. Why do you believe that most individuals obtain ABs?
I don't think this is even right. Does that matter? Who cares?
Who cares? I care. I believe that it's morally wrong to
cares
do
for
so.
whether or not you consider it moral or for someone to have the right to get access to it. That's their business, right?
Well, I mean, I would say that I care for my neighbor. I don't know my neighbor personally, and they might not have the same value to my life as a person who is directly related to me. But I would say I still care for my neighbor as if I don't want anything to happen to them. So that's kind of the logic behind the whole pro-life movement. I believe that every individual, just like even people who disagree with Charlie
you don't
Kirk.
need to care about your neighbor. We're just saying
But that's exactly what you just said. So you said it's not any of my business. Parker, you just said it's not any of my business though. So
yeah, but it's not murder. That's why.
It is. So what would you define as murder? I don't think you can say that word, by the way. Can you?
It's after the point of sentience. We've already gone over this. I've just had the same conversation for the past 40-50 minutes. I don't think that there's going to be a change.
Do you want to go into immigration then?
We can talk about immigration, or I can see how far you go with your abortion views.
How far I go? I mean, I don't believe that. Well, I mean, ask away.
Yeah, would you vote for Donald Trump if he were held civilly liable of sexually abusing a child?
Would I what?
Would you vote for Donald Trump if he were held civilly liable of sexually abusing a child?
Oof, I'm not full MAGA. I'm really not full MAGA. I mean, we can look at what he did to Abrego Garcia. I don't think that...
In that circumstance, can you answer my question? Would you vote for him if he were held civilly liable of sexually abusing a child?
I actually haven't thought about that. I would say... That might just lead me not to vote at all because it's between him and Kamala Harris, and
okay. Would you vote for him if he were held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman?
Hasn't that happened or occurred?
Yes.
Right, so I see where you're going, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not full-blown MAGA. I disagree with Trump, kind of a fucking asshole, but I mean, I believe that he inherently agrees with my political beliefs more than Kamala Harris. Therefore, he's the better candidate to vote for.
I'm waiting for a response to my specific. So yes, you would vote for him. So
I-
what's the relevant difference between the victim being a child and the victim being an adult? That means in one scenario you'd vote for him, but not in the other.
Well, I mean, I didn't say I would vote for him in the other case either.
Okay. Do you want me to just go to the next person? I would love to have an answer to my questions, man.
So, okay, I'll say, I'll say yes, I would vote for him either way, because I think that he would be doing more.
So you would vote for him if he were held civilly liable of sexually abusing a child?
Unfortunately, yeah, I would do so.
So can you name one thing Trump could do that would get you to stop supporting him?
One thing, man, I'm gonna have to say, probably stop supporting ICE. That would probably lead me to stop supporting him.
What?
Are you talking about like a crime he's committed that would stop me from voting for him?
That's insane, dude. I'm sorry. Stop supporting ICE. You mean the group that he's sending out to like deport people without due process rights to a greater extent?
Okay. Well, I mean, we can
strip people out of their communities.
We can apply some. We can apply some
for a long time.
We can apply some more scenarios. I mean, if he took a life, then I also probably would not vote for him. But I mean, he is. I think a lot of people.
He's been murdering people off the coast of Venezuela, right? Specifically with absolutely no evidence that they had drugs, claiming that they had drugs specifically and killing them. He murdered over 60 plus people.
So I haven't actually really looked too much into the Venezuela stuff. I've kind of been off the internet. Is that pro? Well, I mean, that's a funny argument you make, but I mean, I haven't looked too much into what's been going on in Venezuela, and I think I need to do my research first on that before I get into a discussion on that, because that's a whole separate topic and it's not relevant to any of the other discussions.
It is.
But, I mean,
it's literally whether or not you consider like murder to be justified. It's just like literally blatant murder.
Okay. Well, I mean, I need to look into it, but I mean, based off your definition, I would say, yeah, it sounds like murder.
Okay, all right. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about or add? Because it sounds like we've now agreed that Donald Trump has murdered someone, so therefore you probably shouldn't support him. Because you said that you wouldn't support him based upon it, because if he just murdered someone, you wouldn't support him.
Regardless, I would support him getting into office over Kamala Harris.
So you would support him even if he murdered people?
Over Kamala Harris, I think so. I'm going to have to say that, honestly, to be quite honest with you.
So if he shot someone on Fifth Avenue, would you still support him?
Probably not. I would say no.
No? So then if he murdered someone, you wouldn't support him?
If he, did it so blatantly, then I would not support him.
I mean, he literally drone striked multiple boats off the coast of Venezuela in international waters, which is a war crime. Literally no evidence that they had drugs given to Congress.
Like I said, I'm not too educated on the Venezuela or like the situation that went on there, but I mean, I'd be open to getting into an immigration debate with you. Sorry. So
you clearly showed that you don't give a shit. You literally just said you would vote for Donald Trump if you were held civilly liable of sexually abusing a child.
I think in the policies that he brings to the country, besides the kind of shit character he is, I think that the policies he brings are beneficial to that of Kamala Harris. So I think that inherently makes him a better candidate. Pro-life, pro-immigration. I think that what he's done with, we can look at other aspects.
I just gave you an example how he murdered people, and you still support him.
So I'm talking about the unborn fetuses. I mean, I think you can make an argument either way, just like how you were.
Can you name a single immigration policy that you like of Trump's?
Let's see here. I mean, if you want to get into policies, deport them all. That's a pretty good policy right there, right?
What's a specific policy that you support of his that deported people?
A specific policy, I would say the policy that if you have broken the law to enter the country, then you should be deported. I think that's a pretty damn good
already
policy.
Existed. There's no policy that Trump passed to do that.
Well, I mean, it's what he's supporting and it's what he's upkeeping. So I would say that is a pretty good policy in that.
So
I mean, what would you say? What would you say is
a policy that you can mention? You just want to deport more people. Why is mass deportation positive? Can you name one way in which mass deportation benefits your life?
I would say that I'm an immigrant myself, so I believe that it betters my life and that we're not letting people skip lines. And I mean, I'd like to hear your position on this. I mean, what do you think? Do you think people who enter the country illegally should face repercussions?
if they haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime, I believe that they should be given a pathway to citizenship if they haven't, again, committed a violent crime or bad crime. So
they should be given a
they don't
pathway
have
to
to-
citizenship.
Yeah, where they don't
So-
have to leave the country, and we should make the legal process go significantly
But
quicker.
we
So again, you couldn't
actually
mention a single specific reason that it would benefit us to deport people en masse. You just said to not let people go through the line. That's just saying to follow the law. That's not actually giving a reason why it benefits people to enforce said law.
Well, I mean, what's the premise of that argument?
Yeah, name one way in which deporting people who have not committed violent crimes and bad crimes will benefit our society.
Because we're upholding our border policies. I believe that border policies is what defines a nation. I believe that as a country, we have a loyalty to our people first, and I don't think that we should allow people to skip the line. So I think that when we don't allow people to skip the lines and we maintain regulations, we are inherently bettering the society for everyone. We're benefiting society for all the individuals.
In
our
what way? And
citizens.
again, in what way? Because again, I think our current legal process takes too long right now. So it's understandable that people came to the country undocumented.
You can make an argument of whether you think it takes too long. That's a whole separate argument. Maybe you could be pro-reformation of our border policies, but I don't think you can. I would disagree with you on the fact of how we should have open borders in your definitions,
This
as
is
in people
not
can.
open borders. This is not open borders.
So what you just defined to me is you said that someone can enter the country illegally and then they will be given a pathway to citizenship. So the crime they've committed,
if they have not committed a violent crime or a bad
yeah.
crime.
So okay. Do you know what the crime is for jumping the border? Do you know what the violation is?
Dude, I don't care.
It's a
That's not
misdemeanor.
a bad crime.
So
It's a bad crime.
it's-
You don't give a shit about
how many
misdemeanors.
misdemeanors?
Donald Trump
I
committed
don't.
34 felonies and you voted for the guy.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can talk about how he's.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't care about those.
Well, I mean, I think you make a cogent argument on why Donald Trump is a bad person, right? I mean, I think that you can utilize that to say why you wouldn't vote for him. But in my personal views, I think he better supports the interests of our country than Kamala Harris.
So in what way? You have yet to tell us.
Immigration and pro-life.
Again, you keep saying those things. I'm asking you, name one way that deporting people who have not committed a violent crime or bad crime benefits you.
So yeah, just like I've repeated, the last 5 or 6 times.
It's
6 or 7
upholding the law. You know what would be upholding the law if you didn't vote for the fucking convicted criminal over the former prosecutor?
Well, you think just because she's a former prosecutor that gives her leverage over Donald Trump to be
Over a
voted
convicted criminal?
support,
Yes.
to support
Over a
the,
convicted criminal? Absolutely.
to support the mass murdering of 72 million individuals in the womb every year, to allow open borders.
72 million. Okay, so by the way, just want to clarify. Saying that you specifically think it should be legal to get access to an abortion does not necessarily mean that you agree with abortions happening, by the way. People can be anti-abortion.
Okay, so you believe. So okay, is that your position that you're taking?
No. I'm just.
Oh, okay, so it's not applicable in this
Can
instance.
I
Okay.
please speak without you cutting me off? Is that possible?
My bad, Parker. Yeah, go ahead.
People can have the position that they are against abortion, but then think it should be legal. That's not my position. I don't think it's wrong. And I think it should be legal. But people can have the position that it's wrong and it should be legal. Just because you think it should be legal does not necessarily mean you agree with it. For example, are you Christian?
Yeah.
You are? So do you think allowing abortion is evil?
Allowing it? Well, I mean, I believe in a separation of church and state, so
No,
I wouldn't try to.
That's not even relevant. I'm just asking. Do you think allowing abortion is evil?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think allowing abortion is evil? So God allows for abortion to occur. Did he do something evil?
That's not true. He says, "Take a life, and your life will be taken."
What do you mean? No. God gives people free will. He gives them the ability to do it. He allows them to do it.
If you want to make this religious argument to base federal legislature, I mean, I don't think you're gonna have a lot. Well, look, I'll tell you this: God gives everyone free will. Like as a Christian, what I'll say to represent this
Yeah,
is,
so he
God
allows
gives
for
everyone
people to
free
get
will.
abortion. So that must be very
So
evil of God.
can I talk? I'm talking now. I'm talking now. You remember that?
How do you like that?
So-
How do you like that? Is that fun?
So essentially, God gives everyone free will, but in my religious beliefs, and this is just kind of what I've derived with my experience with God, is that in our free will, we have the ability to perform actions that take us closer and further away from God. So I believe that being said, that we have free will, but certain stuff we do will take us away from God. So therefore, it is wrong to do so.
Yeah, you could say it's wrong, but it doesn't mean it should be illegal. And allowing for said the action to
I just
occur-
told you I believe in separation of church and state.
allowing for you're not listening. Allowing for said action to occur is not necessarily evil. Okay.
So like I said,
Also,
I
can you
believe in
please
a
fix your
separate.
microphone. It's like actually atrocious, dude. When you laugh,
Is
it's
it really?
so loud. Yeah, it's horrible.
Well, I just won't laugh. I'll keep a serious face, Parker. It's a serious debate.
No,
so,
I'm not even saying don't laugh. I'm just saying your microphone is ass cheeks, dude.
okay. Well, I would say, I honestly, I forgot the point of what you made, but I think you made. What was the premise?
What was the premise?
I'm trying to remember.
Of what?
It was. What even? Hold on.
It's allowing abortion is not evil.
Oh, right, there we
If
go.
it is
Okay.
evil,
Well,
then God is not all good. That's
well, like I
literally what
said,
it logically entails.
Well, like I said, we have free will to do what we believe, and I'm not
Exactly.
trying to impose.
Allowing for
I'm-
abortion is not
my beliefs are not derived from my religious perspective. I believe in a separation of church and state. So,
But I'm referencing what you view as evil.
do I think it's evil? Yes, I believe it's evil. Do you believe that murder is, evil? Do you believe that taking a life is evil?
Not all taking of life is evil. If I
You saw let me say this. You saw Charlie Kirk's life get taken. Do you believe that was evil?
yes, I think that's terrible and atrocious. I don't know why you'd ask me that when you know that I was there. Like you just said you knew I was there, yet you decide to ask me that question. That's a crazy fucking thing to do.
Do you know how many people I know that were there that are making the argument? Like, I've had people come up to me and tell me they're there from UVU and say that it was the greatest thing they've ever seen. So I'm in.
That's atrocious. And also, why are you?
It is
sitting there-
atrocious.
Why are you sitting there and saying that specifically? It is the case that you would like come up and ask me just because you saw some random person at UVU say that.
Not some random person. So I help run the TPUSA at my school, and we've had people say that to us.
Okay. And why do you ask me that because of this?
Why do I ask you? Because you just said that you don't believe that all murder is evil. So I'm asking you
I never said all murder isn't evil. I said that it's
That's what you just
wrong
said.
to end some life, like plant life. Is it wrong to end plant life? Is it wrong to kill an ant? No, it's not fucking wrong to kill an ant. Okay.
Human life, Parker. Human life.
You don't think it's wrong to pull the plug on an individual in your family that's brain dead? You're so disingenuous.
It's not disingenuous. I believe that if there's no foreseeable future for that individual, then it's up to the family to decide whether they would like to keep him alive or to, end that like cellular life.
Wait, repeat what you were saying? I'm confused.
Okay, well, I'll run you back through it. So if there's no foreseeable future for that individual, then it's up to the family, because I think there's definitely some families who'd be like, oh, like, maybe like some religious families maybe that would be like, oh, like potentially like, they might believe in a miracle occurring. And I mean, I'm not going to inherently like deny that, but I believe that if there's no foreseeable future for the individual, it's not wrong to pull the plug, but it's up to the family to decide so.
Okay. So again, you're just acknowledging that like if there's cellular life, that you still don't think it's murder. That's all you're saying.
Well, I'm saying that if there is no, under these circumstances, Parker, like I've said multiple times, under the circumstances that there is no foreseeable future for the individual, then I would believe in like the circumstances to, kind of sway the situation.
Okay. I'm done having this conversation. I can't talk about abortion anymore. I've had like an hour of conversation about abortion, and my brain
Let's go back
is
into
about to,
immigration.
like, explode.
It's some real stuff, Parker. Do you want to go back into immigration really quick?
We've already talked about it. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up?
No, I appreciate your time. Thank you for what you're doing and, engaging in civil discourse. Charlie would like that.
Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Just get on farm sim at this point, Parker.
Yeah, at this point I might have to. At this point I might have to, chat. Oh, gosh. Oh, my. Oh, dude. Brain is actually hurting. I can't do this anymore. This is horrible. This is horrible. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Midlife Maddie, thank you for the 5 member subscriptions. Thank you. And the $10. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Alrighty, let's go on the next individual, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
19.
Do you support Trump?
I do.
And if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
I'd go for Donald. Mr. Donald.
Okay. Why do you support Trump?
I think he's a good military leader. Realistically, I feel like he would be better as a general than leading America, just because he's just very aggressive. You know what I mean? Like if
a general, I'm sorry, you're delusional.
Are you serious? Come on, dude. He has a lot of military.
Are you trolling?
No. He's got a lot of military strong suits, I feel like.
President Bone Spurs does not have military experience. He dodged the draft.
Wait, no, I didn't say he had military experience. I'm just saying that
General Bone Spurs would not actually be a good general. He dodged the draft.
Hey, bro. He's also a millionaire, too. You know, which also could
he
benefit.
He inherited $400 million from his dad.
I know. It's a lot of money. You can't lie.
To inherit from your dad, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty insane. But look, regardless, I mean, I'd prefer him as some lead in the military because, for one, he has enough money to fund the military. Not a lot of it, but a good bit.
Going to the next person. Have a good day.
Okay, fuck you.
Let's go to the next person. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
It's time for Farm Sim.
They keep getting in. Maybe it is. Maybe it is at this point. Jeez. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Okay, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Sorry, but I didn't mean to come up. I'm not Trump.
You're good. You're good. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everyone. Let's go to the next individual. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. Let me thank some people, actually. Shannon, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. Maria, thank you so much for the $20 on Cash App. Thank you. Phoebe with the $4.20 for Parker Time. Amanda, thank you for the $2. Madeline, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you. Barbara with the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Madeline, thank you so much for the $5. Wendy with the 10. Brendan with the 5. Thank you so much. And Mary, thank you so much. I really appreciate the 10, as well as Juliana. Thank you for the 5. Let's go on to the next person here real quick. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen.
Stop talking about it. I'm going to the retreat.
Jenna's not going to want to see you right now, or probably ever again.
Alrighty, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yeah.
Alrighty, do give it a second for people to join up. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh my god, I did not mean to join. I'm so sorry. I'm doing dishes.
You're good, don't worry. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Alright, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Gene, thank you for the $15 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Gene. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello?
How old are you?
18.
Do you support Trump?
I love you though.
Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Let's go to the next individual. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm sorry, Parker, but play Farm Sim.
Dude, how does he get in so many times? I swear, dude. He's a legend at getting in the box. He's a legend. A absolute legend. How does he do it? How does he do it? Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo, what's good, Parker? I support Trump because
what state do you live in?
I heard that Kratz and libs like.
Okay, yeah, I'll just kick him. Yeah. Oh, okay. Alrighty, we're not getting any people in here. This is very unfortunate, chat. I'm about to go cry, like, genuinely. About to go cry. About to go run over to the side of the room and cry. I need a debate. Okay, right now. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. DK, thank you for the membership subscription.
Hello. I'm over 30. Listen.
For Trump?
First of all, I'm not even American. Let me finish, please.
Okay. Let's go to the next individual. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Those glasses make you look so cute, Parker.
Okay, chat. Okay. No. Look what they've made me do. Look what they've made me do. This is horrible. Horrible what they've done to me. It's horrible. It's horrible what they've done to me. Yo, what's up? All right, let's go on to the next individual. Everybody, only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria. List in the TikTok screen. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria. List in the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh.
Yeah, how old are you?
Hi, Parker. How are you, man?
Do you support Trump?
I'm 34.
Do you support Trump?
To an extent.
Like, if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Honestly, neither. After it was.
In the arms of an angel, fly away from here. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
33.
Do you support Trump?
Hell no. Love you.
Do 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 do.
I'm gonna go after.
Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? Woo! We're getting some debates. Let's go! Woo! Woo! This is great, amazing, good debates. Let's go! Woo! Woo! If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It'll help get it out to more people. Parker's finally losing it. He's losing it, chat. He's losing it. It's because all of the trolls don't have the time to go to Dean's stream because Dean's not live today. It's me instead. This is why. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yeah, how you doing? I'm 21.
Do you support Trump?
I wouldn't say 100%, but yeah.
Like, if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay. Why do you support Trump?
I think me like told him like morally and ethically, like I align more with his like ideals more than Kamala's and the Democratic Party.
Why so?
One, for instance, if you can talk about like the LGBTQ, I'm not like trying to be homophobic or anything like that, but just like integrating that type of that into like especially schools and kids and like
what
having
into
like
schools? What into schools? Like saying that gay people exist and it's okay to be gay?
No, I'm talking about like the like you ever seen like the drag queen story things like things like that. I'm talking about like the more excessive things. I'm not talking.
So JD Vance couldn't do drag and talk to children?
Nah, I think that's just weird.
No, so like
let me ask you this. Do you think that would be okay if somebody like a man of Islam were to go to school and preach his religion?
So I don't think this is religion based. This is literally just people reading a storybook. Should a Muslim be able to read a storybook to children? Yes.
No, I'm talking about reading a storybook dedicated, like his whole story is basically about being LGBTQ to minors.
So
and I don't want.
I do think you should be able to talk about being gay specifically, so that you can create a culture around acceptance of gay people. No one's explaining sexuality to children, though.
You don't think so?
No, like the most it would be is that like some boys have crushes on boys, some girls have crushes on girls. Like that's the extent of it. It's about acceptance. It's not about forcing sexuality onto people.
All right, yeah, but I don't want to focus too specifically on that issue because I don't want it to make my whole debate about that. There's other topics like foreign policies and even immigration. I know you don't want to talk about immigration, and that's fine. But even foreign policies, like if you just think about immigration. Immigration. Oh, all right, man. When it comes to immigration, and you're probably gonna cook me on this, and I'm fine with that. But when it comes to immigration, me myself, my parents are immigrants, so like I know what it's like to be like come from an immigrant family or whatever. But we can literally clearly see that there is a fine correlation with a lot what's going on with immigration.
Okay, so like what's wrong with immigration?
Like one, for instance, like our taxpayers shouldn't be spending towards Medicaid and food stamps towards people who aren't migrants in America. It makes no sense.
So you think Medicaid and food stamps
clearly,
it's
clearly a correlation with the Canadian border and Mexican border with the infiltration of fentanyl gangs and all types of
I have to
things that are going into.
You can't say F drug on the stream. It's TikTok TOS. You can't say F drug. You have to say F drug in specific to not to not get restricted from the stream. Otherwise, it would restrict the push here on TikTok. Medicaid and food stamps are not being given to undocumented immigrants. I don't know where you got that from. Janet, thank you so much for the $2.50. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. They said librarian here. Drag queen story time is literally just regular stories. What stories promote being gay or trans? Literally none. Like, I don't even know what they're talking about. Ken, thank you for the $25. Thank you so much, Ken. I really appreciate it. And Gerald, thank you for the $5. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Yesenia, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $1. Thank you so much. Wow, we spent time trying to get someone up here. We got someone up here, and then we literally can't keep them up here because of TikTok TOS. That was great. That was amazing. So fun. Let's go to the next person. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello.
Yo, what's up? What's up? How old are you?
Yeah.
How old are you? Okay. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hi, I'm 21.
Do you support Trump?
I do.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
I think I would still stay with Trump.
Okay. And why do you support Trump?
Well, so my biggest issue with Kamala Harris's election campaign is, I think this is just a general consensus, is that she didn't really kind of how do I explain it? Just kind of cater to like the biggest population of young men, which is white young men. And I feel like that she alienated a lot of, young white men into, being not to the far right. Well, I think the best example is when she was shouting in one of her debates. I forgot where it was. Might have been like Wisconsin. But she was like, how dare we say Merry Christmas? How dare we say that? Like acting as if religion or, the religion that,
She's
created
Christian
it.
herself. She's Christian.
I know,
herself.
but when you call out against Christianity and the biggest population is white men, I'm just saying.
How dare they do that? How dare Democrats? How dare Democrats say that we shouldn't say Merry Christmas and instead we should say Happy Holidays?
Yeah, but I mean, it's the founding of like Western civilizations on Christianity.
Oh my God, they're attacking white men! No. When they told us to say Happy Holidays, that was an attack on white men.
Okay. I mean, there's no need to be childish in a debate, but okay.
No, you're the one who's like complaining about white men being left alone.
No,
what are you talking about? White men have been.
I'm not talking about white men, but I'm saying that.
What
okay, but you're not going to
has
vote.
not been prioritized around white men. What are you talking about?
We're not going about being white men like counted out. I'm just saying when you don't see like the issues about the biggest population of young men getting jobs and everything.
Wait,
then,
I'm sorry.
You're not gonna...
Name one Democratic policy that harms your ability to get a job.
Well, I think the biggest problem right now is immigration in the United States.
Immigration does not harm your ability to get a job. I can send you a study from the National Bureau of Economic Research that indicates literally an increase in employment amongst particularly wages of people who are already in the country, increase in wages, increase in employment rate, specifically when there's a higher rate of immigration.
So you're telling me that illegal immigration doesn't affect job rates whatsoever, especially like with blue collar jobs. I understand completely with jobs that require degrees, the ones that go into specifically like finance or lawyers and all that stuff and, become a doctors. Yes, that doesn't affect that industry. But if you're looking at blue collar men, obviously you're going to want to pay someone who can kind of learn the skills compared to somebody who doesn't go to college and wants to just go and work to blue collar. And there's nothing wrong with that either.
So there's been no policy specifically to make you worse off in terms of employment because of immigration. Immigration will lead to you being better off in terms of employment. Democrats are also advocating to help the average American, whereas Donald Trump's tariff policy has caused an increase in prices and will continue to cause an increase in prices.
Okay, yes, I agree with you that like continuing with tariffs is not a smart idea. I really don't like Trump for that. But when you have countries, for example, like a small one, just like Serbia, just off the top of my head, who has like been tariffing the United States for like those last 20 years, I don't think that's a good policy to keep on for the United States. And also, I believe, tariffing China is obviously not the smartest thing.
There was no bring down of tariffs. He placed tariffs on countries that, didn't have tariffs just on and on our allies and people close to us, even after we reduced tariffs with them through the context of agreements even made by him.
Yes, no, but I'm saying that the reason why it was smart in the beginning is just to kind of lower down those tariffs, because tariffing the United States when they're the ones that, provide most of the world's security in the Western world doesn't seem exactly fair. Because in Europe, I mean, we can both agree that there's not a big, heavy military force in the United States. Yeah, but the United States is the one. Yeah, Serbia pays the tariff now, but Serbia is the one that implemented tariffs, and now they're kind of gone down for the most part, except for obviously China. China's not going to back down from the United States because, China, like the U.S. relies on China, China relies on the States for both economies. So I think we can both agree that Trump is pretty stupid for that. But for the most part, all of his other policies have been really helping, GDP in America altogether.
Like so, because overall GDP has been harmfully impacted by that.
Well, I mean, even for like New York, GDP's gone up, and for most northern states, I think the South
gone up at a lower
rate
rate since Trump got in office.
Are you talking about like just the past like couple of months? Because that's not true.
I'm talking about the first 2 quarters of his administration. On average.
No, the GDP's gone up.
GDP has gone up at a lower rate than what it was prior.
Yeah, but you're also we're talking about in the sense that yes, Biden also did raise interest rates with the with the national
Biden
bank.
didn't raise interest rates. Biden didn't raise
At the
national
beginning,
debt.
yes,
Trump
yes, he
signed
did.
off on more debt-related spending, and in terms of
Yeah.
interest rates specifically are up at a higher rate right now because Trump has imposed upward pressure on prices through tariffs.
Yes, but now he wants to lower his interest rates.
He wants to lower interest rates. You understand that like he doesn't have the capacity to do that, and they're only going to lower interest rates if there's not upward pressure on prices. But since there's upward pressure on prices, that's harming our ability to literally reduce interest rates.
That's not true. That he's not trying to pass that. He wants National Bank to lower interest rates for more money
Yes,
to be
but
able
they're
to.
not going to do that unless there's not upward pressure on prices. There is upward pressure on prices because Donald Trump has imposed tariffs.
Yeah, but he's not. He's okay, except for obviously like China and other, like Canada. I think that's happening just right now. But for the most part, like he's getting rid of the tariffs on other countries as well. So
You're saying he's getting rid of the tariffs on other countries, right? But you're not acknowledging that overall he's put greater levels of tariffs. So he's getting rid of what
but it's
tariffs
also
that he put.
yeah, okay, but also in the short term right now, which is looking more long term, he's putting more pressure on the other countries to like lower their tariffs on the United States as well. So, and I think that's a good. I think
Which
that's pretty good.
countries
as
have
well.
overall lower tariffs from rates than which they had prior?
A lot of countries in the EU. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head.
In the meantime, everyone, if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It will help get it out to more people. It will help get it out to more people, everyone. Do give it a second for people to join up. Or not join up, I meant like do tap that screen. That's what I meant to say. Jeez. Brain is absolutely unhinged right now. Let me say thank you to a few people. I have to catch up on YouTube. DK, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $20 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. No, I'll definitely have to look into that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, DK. Thank you. Thank you so much. Brandon with the $5. Krister, thank you so much for the $20. They said, I'm not your biggest fan. Well, thank you so much for the $20. I really appreciate it. Kelly with the $2. Thank you. Cheffy, thank you so much for the $5. I really appreciate it. Lucy, thank you so much for the $2. Catherine, thank you so much for the $2 as well. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Elena, thank you for the $5. Lauren, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Democracy Dies in Darkness at the 5. Kim with the 5. Feisty the $10. Thank you. Neo, thank you for the $7.50. AMR, thank you for the £5. Yes, I heard that. I heard that. €5 actually. I mean, thank you. And thank you so much for the $2. Katie, thank you for the 5. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Mac with the 5. DK with the $20. Thank you so much, DK. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And for the $2 as well. And then Najia, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you. Did you find what you were looking for?
Yeah. So
I can't hear you while you're swiped out of the app, just letting you know. You have to see me in order for me to hear you.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so looking at China right now, I mean, he lowered tariffs by 10%. He's trying to deal with the fentanyl issue with China, which I think is really good.
No, you can't say that on the live. It's TikTok TOS. I got to go on to the next person now. You got to say F drug. It's TikTok TOS. Dust, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. As well as just another thank you for the $2 as well. Thank you. Let's go to the next individual. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
18.
Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
What's your birth year?
August 1st, 2007.
Okay. If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Probably Trump just because of his policies.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
He supported raising taxes on like corporations, which would like help individuals like in middle class to lower class. Also proposed eliminating tax on tips. He planned to increase the starting expense deduction from $5,000 to $50,000 for new businesses. Would provide up to $25,000 in down payment assistance to renters with 2 years of on-time payments. Intended to combat price gouging.
Yeah, are you renaming Kamala Harris's policies?
Oh shit. Possibly. Damn.
Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that to the criteria list on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh shit! I did not mean to join.
You're good. I'm not sure. Thank you so much for the hand heart. Thank you. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Let's go to the next individual. Everyone, do give it a second for people to join up. Yeah, what's up? How old are you?
37.
Do you support Trump?
Yes.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Oh, Trump, 100%.
Okay. Why do you support Trump?
Just about everything he does, I'm in support of.
Such as?
Everything he's done. Military, trade, capital expenditures, a lot of things. Immigration. He's got my vote.
Do you want to be specific with any of these?
Yeah, it's very general. Everything he's done, I'm in support of.
Oh,
I mean, he's
Can you
well, specifically, is there anything Trump's done that you've liked?
Operation Warp Speed. But if you want to reference things that that you agree with,
I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this next term. Is there anything you like about him that he's done
since he's got in office? They had like some AI deepfake bill.
Oh, okay. You didn't like him getting the hostages out of there or anything like that?
I don't think that he specifically is the reason why there would be a greater amount of hostages released. I actually would attribute more of that to the Biden-Harris administration, as most hostages were released under the Biden-Harris administration, if you want to talk about that.
No, I'm talking overall. I mean, what's truly astounding is you're not willing to give him credit for anything.
I just don't give him credit for things that he doesn't deserve credit for.
Well, what did Biden do besides the weekend at Bernie's? I mean, the guy was asleep at the wheel. You don't think he was running the country, do you?
Well, apparently,
a smart kid like you think President Biden was really the president?
So Biden,
smart as you are?
Biden apparently, while being asleep, got more hostages back proportionally comparative to Trump, right? So Trump was so asleep that he couldn't even beat someone else who was asleep.
How can you blame Trump? Trump wasn't in office when they took the hostages.
So again, but that doesn't necessarily mean that was.
So that makes absolutely no sense of what you just said.
You think that was because?
I mean, that makes absolutely zero sense. You should just retract what you just said.
No,
Trump wasn't in there on October 17th when Israel when they got attacked by Hamas.
Right, and wait, okay, so
how could Trump get more hostages out when it happened under Biden?
What?
Please explain yourself. Explain yourself. No. You just said Biden got more hostages than Trump. Explain how that happened when Trump wasn't even in office when they took the hostages.
You're not listening because you just tried to say that Trump specifically.
Oh, okay. So you can't even answer that. Okay,
I'm trying to explain. I'm literally, you just cut me off. I'm trying to explain right now. Okay. So
you can't explain it.
I'm explaining right now, but I can't explain if you cut me off.
I'm listening.
Okay. Yeah, since Trump got in office, right, proportionally speaking, less hostages, proportionally speaking, and taking into account the level of time that's occurred, right, have come back to a lesser degree comparative to what happened under the Biden-Harris administration under that particular time period. So if you specifically just wanted to look about hostages, right, then obviously you would point to specifically, again, the proportionalities under either administration.
Okay. Let me come back on what you just said. So if Trump was in office and Russia took 200 prisoners and he got 50 back, and let me think of some Democrat, Buttigieg becomes a president 28, and he gets like whatever his name is, Mayor Pete Elmer Fudd there. If he got hostages out and they all happened under Trump, you'd say, well, proportionally, Trump got more out, even though it happened under Trump, all the hostages. That makes absolutely no sense what you just said. The hostages were taken out under Biden. Hold on, let me land the plan. The hostages were all taken out under Biden. So if Trump got one hostage out, one of the 200, whatever, out, that's good, is it not? What you're trying to do is sit there, you're putting a false argument there. The hostages were taken, the attack happened under Biden. If he got one or two hostages out, Trump did, that's a good thing. And yet you sit there and come back and say, well, proportionately, Biden got more, even though it all happened under Biden, not Trump. That makes no sense. Your argument is ridiculous. It's borderline insanity, but go ahead, keep grifting. I'll listen to you.
Okay, so now I'm grifting just because I disagree with you. Okay, so
no, but it
me
makes no
saying
sense what
that
you just
Donald
said.
Trump, me saying that Donald Trump proportionally would get less credit is just a fact of reality, because proportionally speaking, less hostages coming back in the same period of time that where more hostages would have come back under the Biden-Harris administration. So that's the point that I was pointing to. So if you're specifically going to give Trump this credit, well, then you must give Biden the credit as well. And by the way, Democrats don't take credit for things like this, like the way that Trump does. Trump wants credit for absolutely everything. Democrats don't run this like sort of media game like that to that extent. And actually, I would say that's one of the issues that Democrats need to like go on and try to do more. But can you tell me what grifting is?
So, well, grifting is like, I don't know why you're not pro-Trump, because I hear you sitting there saying, oh, thanks for the $10, $8, $5, $15. People are sending you money in here to talk anti-Trump. That to me, that's grifting. You should be thankful Trump's
grifting just to be anti-Trump. How's it grifting to be anti-Trump?
No. But you're profiting off it, and I think that's great. You're doing a great job of grifting off this. I mean, so you should be thankful Trump beat Harris. No. So for you personally.
So under your view, grifting.
No. I have respect for it. No. I have no problem with what you're doing. What I'm saying is, for you personally, it's more beneficial for you to have Trump in there than Harris, because you can get all these people to send you money for nothing. I mean, that's really a sin. But let me go. Hold on, one point.
No, let me respond. Let me respond. You made a claim.
No. Let me just one real quick. I'm going to lay on my thing because you went on for a while. Hold on. Let me just.
I'll just mute you. Okay. So you're essentially just saying being anti-Trump is grifting. Grifting means that you dishonestly hold a particular position in order to get attention or money out of something. Me having a job and being a political commentator and debating people does not necessarily mean that I'm grifting. That's a ridiculous position. Then you're arguing that anyone in the media who makes money off of specifically media, right, is then going to be a grifter. That's a ridiculous assertion for you to make. So again, grifting would mean that you actually would think that I'm a Trump supporter, like just portraying myself as a liberal in order to make money off of liberals, which is obviously a ridiculous sentiment. But Judy, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. David, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $20. Thank you so much. I'll have to read all of those later. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. David, thank you. Hannah with the $4.20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Danielle, thank you so much for the $5. For I think he's jelly that you're paid to debate. Real. Thank you so much, Janet. I really appreciate the $2.50. They said, librarian here, I think people give you money because you educate people. Thank you so much. Sarah, thank you for the $5 for the grift. Klein, thank you for the $5. Here's some money to piss off the caller. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. By the way, I sent you an invite to unmute. There you go. And Christian, thank you for the $4.20 for the grift.
All right. Thank you. Well, I just want to get back real quick. You can keep on grifting. And hey, no. I applaud you that you're able to monetize this. That's great.
Cape grafting. Dude, did you hear what I said?
Well, if you want to be disingenuous, then just drop me. All I'm saying is...
Dude, I'm saying you're calling me a grifter. Do you know what grifting is?
Yes, I do. But what I'm saying is it's more profitable to you to have Trump in there than Harris. Is it not?
You understand that there are a lot of right-wing grifters, right? I could easily grift on the right.
Oh, I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that at all. I never said there wasn't.
What do you mean? Like,
so I'm glad. Okay, but let me land my plane real quick. Let's go.
Couldn't you run these topics on the inverse and also do them in support of Trump? Like, why couldn't someone do that if they're just trying to make money?
I said I applauded you. You keep missing that point that I applauded you, and I'm saying it's more profitable.
Listening to what grifting is. Grifting means that I would dishonestly hold a particular position in order to make money off it, meaning that I'm not actually a liberal. So you're trying to say that I'm a MAGA supporter.
I get it. No, I'm not. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is it's more profitable for you to have Trump in there than Harris.
For you, profitability. I've been doing this for years before any of this was profitable.
Okay, are you making a profit?
Now I am, but that's because of my job.
Okay, thank you for answering that. But let me lay on my plane real quick.
So making money equals grifting. Making money equals grifting. Kayla,
no, I didn't say that. I said for you,
$5 as well. Thank you so much for supporting the grifting. Emily with the $5 for supporting the grift. Alicia, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you for supporting the grift. Amy with the $20 for supporting the grift. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Alex, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $1 for keep on grifting. Thank you. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was going to get back to what you just kind of skirted the issue on the hostages. When I said, did Trump do anything good? And you said, well, proportionally, he didn't get as many hostages out. The fact is he took all the hostages under Biden, 100%. And the fact that he got a couple out or whatever. Oh, hold on. Okay, go ahead. Mute me again then.
I will. So the point is that you're not listening, right? You actually have to address the proportionalities, and just because it happened under administration does not mean it was caused by that administration. All I'm doing is trying to show you the ridiculousness and taking credit specifically for pulling out the hostages, particularly under that degree. It would actually make your side look worse. That's what I'm arguing. Karen, thank you for the $5. Thank you. And then Frat, thank you for the $5. I'm going to not cut you off this time, I promise. You muted yourself, man. I didn't even mute you this time.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't going to interrupt you. I was going to let you keep talking. So.
Okay, Mark, go ahead. Tracy, thank you for the 5. Thank you.
You got anybody else thanks for the money, or can we go? I love the fact that. Okay, I'll wait.
But no, go ahead. I'm giving you time. Go.
Oh, okay. I thought you said wait. You had some announcement you had to make or something about something.
No, I said not yet.
Capital expenditures. The capital expenditures coming in the country. I love that. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that there's less capital expenditure brought to our country because Donald Trump has imposed tariffs, which decreases the likelihood of countries around the world trading with our country because he's imposed a higher cost of trade. Catherine, think of the $5 for Trump as the #1 grifter.
You're saying the capital expenditures are down?
Yes.
That's what you just said?
Yes, I'm saying less people are going to trade with the United States because of the fact that the tariff is implemented, because now there's a greater cost on trade. Sinead, think of the $5 as well. Thank you for FTT.
Okay, give me a sign or something when you're going to keep talking. So I don't know when you're thanking all your customers out there, your fan club, for your money, but yeah, expenditures are going to be huge for us. I think remanufacturing coming back in the country is going to create jobs for the country. I think the tariff is one of the most amazing things a president has done in my lifetime to rebalance trade across the whole world, to make the American market the premier market of trade for the whole world based on the consumer purchasing power of the United States. It's amazing what Trump's done.
So imposing the tariffs decreases countries from trading with the United States because it caused an increased cost of trade specifically with the United States. It does not bring back jobs to this country. We've seen domestic manufacturing investment decline in this country, accounting for inflation since Trump got in office. And the jobs report has gone down, meaning that we're seeing less new jobs. Trump actually couldn't believe that they were so bad that he blamed the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, claimed that they were coming out with politically biased information, so he fired them. And then you put a new person in that position, and they indicated even less jobs for the next month. JD, think of the $5. Catherine, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $5. Thank you.
So you think free trade is fair trade?
I think that free trade, specifically on a global context, is better than imposing global tariffs.
Okay, what's the consumer purchase power? What's the consumer purchase power of the United States?
What's the purchasing power? I mean, based on what metric?
What is the consumer purchasing power of the United States?
Based on what metric?
Okay, if you don't know, just say I don't know. The consumer purchasing power of the United States is what?
Yeah, I don't know what you're referencing.
Okay. The consumer, I'll educate you a little bit on. The consumer purchase power of the United States is $18.8 trillion.
So
next is China
you're asking the GDP. Okay, the GDP or the...
No, the consumer purchasing power. The consumer purchasing power of the United States is $18 trillion.
Okay, where do you see that measure?
Okay, you got to get educated here. Come on now.
Okay, you can
Google works quick. Look at the top 4 consumer purchase power countries in the world. It's United States #1, China #2, West Germany #3, India 4.
West Germany?
Come on, you're smart liberal like you should know
West Germany?
this.
I didn't know West Germany was still a country.
Well, I mean Germany. Well, sorry, I was in the Army 3 years over there.
That's okay. So you mean consumer spending? You're just talking about the level of consumer spending?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. 18.8 trillion. You're right.
Oh yeah. So
what's your point?
That being the case, every country where a premium market has to get in here to make their money. So rebalancing the whole trade of the whole world is positive for us. So when you said there, a tariff can be put on, but if they like India puts 100% tariff on us, we had like nothing on them. But what Trump is trying to do is not only take the consumer purchasing power, the $18.8 trillion, which every country wants to get into our market because there's nothing close to it, But you keep going on about tariffs. Well, the idea is for the country A, whether it be in Germany, India, China, Japan, to locate company over in America, build in America, and the tariff goes away. Now, if you don't, to get access to the premium market of the $18.8 trillion, yeah, you're going to have to pay a tariff. And that's exactly how it works.
Here's the issue. Here's the issue. What's a tariff?
Hold on. I wasn't going to. You're not going to let me land my plane, but go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Land your plane.
No. I was going to say.
And then we'll educate you on a tariff.
Okay, go ahead. You educate me.
No. Go ahead. Make your point, and then we'll educate you on a tariff.
No, a tariff can be paid three ways: by the country, by the consumer, or by the company eats it. That's the only way it goes. But go ahead, educate me.
So it's directly paid by the businesses importing the product, and you're saying that there could be some sort of eating of the cost specifically on behalf of countries around the entire world, but inevitably speaking, it's mostly ate by the consumer, right? That's the reality. So you can sit there.
Let's go back.
You can try to argue that there are going to be better conditions, but that's just not true. If you look at the context of what has happened due to these tariffs, we actually see a decline in real domestic manufacturing investment because now materials that are coming from countries around the entire world that are an aspect of the domestic manufacturing process in the United States have now become more expensive in the United States, making it specifically harder for American manufacturers to produce products in the United States.
Okay. My company, I deal with three factories, one in Beijing, one in Vietnam, and one in Korea. All three countries ate the cost of the tariff. And the reason being is I work for the company. I'm over there. I know they did.
You can't eat the full.
Okay. So you know the company I work for, and you know exactly what's going on. Okay, come on. So you don't even know what you're talking about when you sit there and say no, they didn't. Yes, they did. This is how it works.
I thought you were trying to say an entire country.
No. I'm talking about a specific
company.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, if they run the profit margins to do that, I don't think most companies run the profit margins to be able to do that.
Okay. Well, I'm just telling you, this is how it works. Vietnam, when I was over there, says, well, if China won't eat the tariff, we'll take the business. We'll take 100% of it. We'll do what the manufacturing we have to do to get in there. Korea, the same thing. So they all three ate it. So I'm not disputing on a tariff that it won't be passed on consumer, but the host country, not to lose market share in a premium country, this is how it works. You got to get educated. To get the consumer purchase power of the United States, $18.8 trillion, they're not going to want to lose market share China and give it to Vietnam. They're not going to do it. It's a world economy. So to get in our market, like Canada, you look at Canada, they can go all over the world and look for every country they want to find to try to cut some trade deal, yet they're not going to be able to sell anywhere close to what they can sell the United States. They're screwed. They have to sell the United States because China doesn't want their crap. No, they can't go to any country in the world that buys what we buy from Canada. That's a fact. There's nowhere they can go. We're a premium market. We're like a Costco or a Sam's Club. It's a membership. Trump is rebalancing the whole trade. Now, you might not like it or you might come out and complain, but it's a fact. It's going to be beneficial in the long run to the American consumer. It's going to be beneficial to jobs and wages. It's going to be beneficial all the way around. Now, you might not like hearing that, but that's the truth. And I'm 100% with Trump. And I know what's going on because I've been over those countries. And if you want to know what China thought of Biden, they thought he was a joke. Now with Trump, they're just waiting for him to leave in 3 years, hoping that they can go back to business as usual. But Trump is rebalancing the whole entire trade deal of the whole world. And that's great for American. We get ripped off. And stupid agreements like we went into before, like NAFTA and all that, we're shipped all our jobs over there. If we have to pay a little bit more and it costs more to get jobs back in America, buddy, I'm 100% for it.
So it's not better for the American consumer. It's more costly for the American consumer. That's why we've seen prices trend up and it's become more.
I'm talking about the American worker.
Can I please finish? Yeah, so it's been worse off for the American consumer. It's more expensive for them, and it puts upward pressure on prices specifically, which then causes a greater circumstance where we aren't able to reduce interest rates, which harms people's ability to engage in buying houses. And wages are not likely to go up, specifically as we've actually seen the jobs report become significantly worse and less new jobs, which specifically causes conditions within the labor market actually for downward pressure on wages, not upward pressure on wages.
Well, jobs is going to be tricky moving forward, and that's what we have to look for because AI, the revolution's coming in. It's going to cost us jobs, but we have to get our act together even there because I was over in China for a month. Till we start producing enough energy over here to cover the AI, we're going to be in trouble. So we got to get rid of all these stupid blue states not putting pipelines and things like that. We got to create energy, whether it be nuclear or whatever, to win the AI race. So anyway, listen, man.
Renewable energy. So Trump shouldn't be defunding renewable energy production like what we already had.
Well, the problem is with AI, it needs to consume so much. We don't have enough energy in America to produce what we need for AI. You're not going to ever do it.
We have the ability to produce all the energy that we need through renewable energy, specifically within the context of the United States. We have the ability to do that if we make the necessary investments in the long run.
Here's what I'm going to suggest for you to do. I just got out of conference on this. The United States produce tons of new energy. They have the capacity for the AI what we need. I would ask you, when you get offline, you can trash me all you want, but when you get offline, look it up. You'll see that we need to do it. But other than that, I appreciate it. I got to get going, but I appreciate me on here. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Okay, so no actual engagement, just like look it up. Trust me, bro. That's it. Alrighty, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Alrighty. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 43, man.
Do you support Trump?
I've been following you for a while. Yeah, I don't anymore. I never thought I'd get on your thing, man.
Well, I really appreciate you. Glad to see that you don't support Donald Trump anymore. That's great to hear. So like, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $17. Thank you so much on PayPal. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Please some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you. Absolutely. W Daily Parker Dose. We love that. Brun, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you. Thank you so much. And then Emily, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you. All right, let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. Brun, I don't see you in the guest box. Let's go on the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, I'm jorging it.
What the fuck? Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
21.
Do you support Trump?
Yes.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump, probably.
For sure. Why do you support Trump? And is there a way you can turn off the background noise?
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna go in the other room. Probably because of I'm very pro-life, and I believe in. I don't believe in. Like, I believe in immigration. Like, if you didn't come here the right way, then you shouldn't be in this country because it's a risk.
Okay. So I believe people who are in the country undocumented who have not committed a violent crime or bad crime should be given a pathway to citizenship where they don't have to leave the country. And I believe that's the best process to incentivize that most amount of people are vetted within the context of the country. So why do you think that process is bad? Hello? Can y'all hear me, everyone? Hello? Yeah? Okay. I guess the guest just randomly cut out. Alrighty, let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yo, what's up? How old are you? Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria, again, listed on the TikTok screen. If you want to support me as always, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
18.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
And what's your birth year?
2007, October 3rd.
Okay, if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Donald Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
Well, first, I want to make this clear, right? Donald Trump wants to, get rid of the radical left, the communists, the anarchists.
Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We're just looking for some debates, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Lily, thank you for the $3. Thank you. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Okay, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
18.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Why so?
Because of the Ken Carson picture that I won my vote over. And his...
So the next individual, only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 19.
Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Alrighty, if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yo, what's up? How old are you? Let's go to the next individual, everybody. Only send a guest request again if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Alrighty, everyone. I'm trying to get people up here. I do apologize. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hey, 18. I support Trump because...
So the next individual, only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
22.
Do you support Trump? Do you support Trump? Okay, let's go to the next individual, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yo, what's up? How old are you? Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Alrighty, do give it a second, everyone. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
18.
Alrighty, do give it a second, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
41.
Do you support Trump?
Hell no.
Nice. Everybody, only send a guest request if you do meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Please, everyone, only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. If you want to support me, as always, everyone, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 18.
Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
What's your birth year?
2007, July 5th.
Okay, if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for? John, thank you for the future encounter. Thank you.
Well, I wasn't old enough to vote back then, but if I was, I would still vote for Trump.
Okay, why would you support Trump?
I feel like he's done a pretty good job so far. I've enjoyed some of the policies he's put in place and how he's handled certain things. I think that's my president. And compared to what I think Kumalala would have done, then close enough, brother.
Not even.
I think he's doing better.
Okay. So what about it specifically? Like, could you name a specific policy of Trump's you like?
Personally, I say I like what he did with TikTok, pressuring a big giant like ByteDance to sell to an American thing. I feel like that's a great thing. Well, first, do you agree with that? Do you think him getting TikTok to sell to an American company is a good thing?
I mean, I would prefer TikTok stay the way it is, but I mean, I think TikTok staying around is preferable than it not staying around. Obviously, me being myself who literally uses TikTok, but I don't think that that's like a reason to support Trump. And I definitely have a better reason to say that than you do because it's my job. So.
Right. This is my job too. As an American citizen, my job is to care about what we put forward.
I mean, my job is to literally on TikTok.
Right. But then also another thing that I would say about Trump is he has that leader aspect to him. When it comes to Trump, we don't have to worry about other international threats, coming for America. When you have a guy like Trump in office, we have to. I wouldn't say so because Trump has. I would say Trump has that it factor to him that no other candidate really had when he was running. When Trump's in office, I think people fear America more than
you're trolling.
If anyone else,
you're trolling.
I'm trolling.
The it factor.
That is what I said. I mean, do you not think so? Do you not think that Trump makes other global countries a bit afraid of America?
No.
Laughing is not defeating my point or purpose.
No, I definitely don't think that Trump makes other people fear him. Why is it Trump specifically that would make people fear the United States?
Because he doesn't play like any of that bullshit. Like
what?
Like if anybody plays with America, Trump's gonna be like, nah, that's not it, and he's gonna intervene and make them bow down to America because America is the powerhouse that it is.
Yeah, he's gonna make them bow down to America. Let's take a look at who's specifically gonna be doing that. Really, he's making people bow down to America. Oh yeah, people are really bowing down to America. Look at that. They're so terrified. They're absolutely terrified. You've never seen someone.
A president can play golf.
So terrified. As terrified as what they would be if they saw this guy. Look at this guy. He's very orange. Very orange.
A president can play. He's not even orange in that picture. Actually, I do think he's orange. He's not orange in that picture.
Do you see him? He's pretty orange.
Nah, in that picture she's actually white. But I do call him an orange from time to time. I do think it's pretty funny. But a president can play golf. He's just doing his he can't be working all the time.
Do you think that you're scared of this guy?
I mean, he's like what 6'4".
I'm sorry. Would you be scared of this guy? Oh my God! So very scary. Look at him.
I mean,
look at him. Look at him.
Okay, you know what? Fine. You have a point.
He's so scary. He's so terrifying.
Right. Okay. So, do you think that if Kamala was in office, do you think that we would be where we are right now?
I think we'd be in a better circumstance right now.
In what stance? In what world?
We'd be better off in terms of a job market, in terms of GDP growth, in terms of inflation.
By what would Kamala do that would change any of that?
What? She would not have imposed tariffs.
Okay, what else? And plus, tariffs in the job market. Where's the linear correlation? I feel like
specifically have caused an increase in the price of consumer products. They've caused a decrease in the amount that people have been investing, specifically in the amount of jobs in the economy, specifically because it's increased the cost of manufacturing. right? Because now aspects of the manufacturing process that come from countries around the world have become more expensive.
Okay. Cool. I actually didn't know that. Cool. Thanks for letting me know that.
Of course.
But so I want to shift to another thing that I want to know. So about the government shutdown, the longest government shutdown in U.S. history, right? Do you think that this is? Do you think this is necessarily a bad thing?
Do I think what's necessarily a bad thing?
The government shutdown.
Yes, I think it's a bad thing.
So do you think us pulling back on a lot of what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for here? Because we're drawing back on SNAP benefits. We're drawing back on a lot of government spending. Do you think that this could possibly be a good thing in a certain aspect?
No.
Not at all? Interesting.
Shutdown's bad.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I think that's all I really have, to be honest. But I appreciate the debate. You've actually taught me a couple things. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. But I will say, just do you think that the argument that we have two bad candidates, well, quote unquote bad candidates, do you think that argument is valid at all? We have two bad candidates, I'm going to vote for the one that benefits in this way.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to say that you would vote for the lesser of two evils, yeah.
So do you think that Trump was the lesser of two evils?
Absolutely not. Trump is the greater of two evils for sure, if you're going to use that point.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, that's all I have.
Do you think Trump is the better of two evils?
Do I think Trump is the better of two evils? I think back when, if you take me back to voting day, voting day, and if I could vote, I don't know. I think weighing the two options, I would be like, I think I might go with I might go with Donald Trump. But
why?
Mainly for the economic standpoint. That was my main thing with
But what about Trump. The economy?
Just as a capitalist in a capitalist market, I felt as if I was gonna vote for something to get more for my personal self, which one would be better for me, it would be Donald Trump.
Okay, better for you, so meaning you make over $400,000 a year?
I'm close to that, yeah.
Okay, if you're not there yet, then you make less under Trump because he's imposing tariffs.
So wait, what was Kamala gonna do that was gonna benefit me?
Not impose tariffs, and she would have kept all the tax cuts for income earners under $400,000 a year. She was also advocating for a $6,000 child tax credit for the first year of a child's life, $3,600 them being 5 years old, $3,000 them being 18, $25,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers for new homes, $2,000 cap on pharmaceuticals out of pocket for everyone. You understand that'd be beneficial for a huge section of Americans. Maybe it's not beneficial to you, but it's going to be beneficial to at least someone you know in your life.
Okay. Well, I did not know that, so I appreciate that. Well, I think that's really all my talking points.
Okay, all right. Well, I appreciate you coming up.
Yeah, no problem.
Alrighty. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Alrighty, let's go on the next individual. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello.
How old are you? Alright, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. If you want to support me, as always, everyone, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. We are going to be on here for another hour and 40 minutes at least. Another hour and 40 minutes at least. So do give it a second for people to join up. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, do you support Trump?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
I vote for Donald Trump. At the time, I wasn't old enough, but I'm 18.
Okay, and what's your birth year?
2007, May 25th.
Okay, and so why do you support Trump?
So I think over. Sorry, I literally am getting out of the bath as well, so that's why you hear background noise. So all right, now that sounded wild. My bad. No, so I think overall, there's certain things with the economy and stuff that might not be in the same place that was expected or what was promised. But I think your point of saying that the country would be in a better place with Kamala is kind of like void and null, just because every politician I feel promises, every organization promises, and I don't think it's really fair to be able to 100% say like, oh yeah, we'd be in a better spot here, we'd be in a better spot there. Do you have any like 100% guarantees that like we would be in a better spot?
Yeah, like Trump imposed tariffs. Kamala Harris would not impose tariffs. Dudes, thank you so much for 10 member subscriptions. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
All right. What's a main reason why you are not in support of Trump? I guess is a good place to start.
Why don't I like Trump? Well, he was held civil.
What?
What's
Sorry,
that?
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you can specify your comment.
No. I was just gonna say regarding just choosing a major, I guess not complaint, but gripe. Like, what would it be with his administration? What would it be with what he's done?
Well, the big beautiful bill cuts 420,000 children off of free school lunch and breakfast on average every single month, along with over 2.5 million people on average every single month off their access to food stamps, and over 10 million people off their access to health insurance.
So would you not agree that, well, I would assume you wouldn't, but that a lot of the DEI programs and SNAP benefits, or I guess not the SNAP benefits, but a lot of the DEI programs and stuff are harmful to the fairness and the equality and growth in our economics? Because
what DEI policy?
I don't know. I mean, the things like food stamps and stuff. I do understand. I'm not in agreement.
Not DEI.
Okay. Well, social benefits. What would you like? I don't know. I feel they only push down further the fight for equality, because the criteria for giving benefits is insane and has been.
What DEI policy do you disagree with?
A lot of the healthcare stuff that Obamacare did, I think.
Healthcare?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. You think healthcare is
No.
the ACA is DEI?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. What did you ask again? I'm sorry.
I asked you what DEI policy did you say that you disagree with?
I mean, for
He just left, by the way. Okay. What the fuck just happened? DEI, and you talking about food stamps? DEI food stamps. Oh my god. The DEI food stamps are things that he apparently disagrees with. I didn't know they came out with DEI food stamps. That's crazy. Zoe, thank you for the $20 in Venmo. Thank you so much, Zoe. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Lily with the $3. Thank you. David with the $1 as well. Let's go on the next individual. That's the first that's the first time I've heard that before.
Yo, Parker, how are you? I'm 18.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah, you're a freaking butthead.
How old are you? Oh, okay. Okay, all right. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria. Listen on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you? This is what the aftermath of Fetus Friday. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo, I'm 18.
What's your birth year?
Oh no, I'm not 18. I'm 21. 2003. Sorry, I was reading your thing, bro. Don't look all perplexed. December 2003.
What state do you live in?
Wisconsin.
Really? What
I'm
time is
Australian, but I moved to America.
What time is it?
Why do you not trust me right now?
Because you have an Australian accent, and 99% of the people that join that have an Australian accent are trolling and don't actually live in the United States.
I'm not trolling at all. I've done nothing so far that implicates that I'm trolling.
What time?
I don't want to tell you what time it is. That's impeding on my privacy of my time in Wisconsin.
It's impeding. Name the what's the capital?
We're just here to talk about Trump.
What is the capital of the state that you live in?
Can am I here to discuss nation with you, or are we here?
How about this? Can you spell Michigan?
Michigan.
Okay. Now, can you answer this
All
question?
right, can we? I don't know why we're sitting here.
Hey, what's the capital? What's the capital, buddy?
Wait, don't call me buddy. Why are you being mean to me? I've done nothing.
All right,
nothing for you to be mean to me.
Mate, can you tell me, mate? What's the capital, mate?
Can I help you say mate better, and then we'll
mate,
move
can you
on.
please? Come on, mate.
You need to extend your A on the mate.
Come on, mate.
No, mate. Go like more of an A.
Come on, mate. Come on, mate.
No, you're like miting out. You need to say mate.
Come on, mate.
All right, can we talk about Trump?
No, because you don't even live in the U.S., bro.
Dude, I live in the U.S. Stop tweaking.
What's the capital of the state you live in?
Fucking Michigan.
Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Michigan. How old are you? Okay, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm gonna Kirkify you.
That's a disgusting thing to say.
I'm gonna.
Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yo, what's up? How old are you? Okay. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 19.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Hillary Clinton.
Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 43.
Do you support Trump?
I support your butthole.
Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Hey, what's up? How old are you? Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello. I am 19.
Do you support Trump?
I support. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do.
Okay. If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
It's based off Trump's political beliefs. I would support Trump. I'm not recognizing his character as good. I know you're going to attack his character, and I understand that. So,
okay, why do you support Trump?
I'm not a really big fan of high taxes. I actually live in California, and I'm not a big fan of Newsom either. And if we do have high taxes, I want that money going to the military I want that money going to ICE. And yeah, that's.
Okay,
I want
why do you
lower
want
interest.
why do you want your money going to ICE?
Against abortion. I love Jesus. I love God. I love America. I'm not a fan of socialistic ideas. Why do I want my money going to ICE? I want my money going to ICE to protect our borders from illegal immigrants.
Okay, why is that a good thing?
Why is that a good thing? Because they're taking jobs from Americans.
How so?
I just explained it. They're stealing jobs from Americans.
How?
How are they stealing jobs from Americans? Well, Americans who would typically want that job are not being able to get that job because the market is becoming oversaturated by illegal immigrants.
Okay, so you're saying that U.S. citizens can't compete?
And also, they're breaking the law.
Wait, hold up.
They're breaking the law.
Did you say that U.S. citizens can't compete?
I'm saying it makes it more difficult for them because it's becoming oversaturated by illegal
immigrants. Why don't you tell the U.S.
immigrants.
citizens just to get a job and to pull themselves up by their bootstraps? Why don't you say that?
Repeat that question again. Sorry, someone was knocking on the door.
Yeah, why don't you tell them to get a job and pull themselves up by their bootstraps, and that they shouldn't rely on the government to fix problems specifically in the free market?
Why don't I just tell them to get a job and pull themselves up by their bootstraps?
Yeah.
Because, well, first of all, they are trying to get jobs. Hardworking Americans are trying to get jobs, and the market is being oversaturated by illegal immigrants. I just explained that.
Okay, so you're relying on the government to fix your problems?
Am I relying on the government to fix my?
You want the people to rely on the government to fix their problems, rather than to fix it
I
themselves?
I want the law to be enforced.
So you want to
And it's
rely on the
illegal.
government to fix your problems, not to do it yourself?
Am I going to rely on the government? I'm going to rely on the government to enforce the governing body, the governing laws of America.
Yeah, so
yes.
you need to rely on the government to like help you out, to boost you up, because you can't compete, instead of specifically leaving it to the free market. Okay, so I mean, good to know that you are for government helping out and establishing a baseline for American citizens, right?
Well, a government is necessary for success. Okay, but no, it doesn't have to be an overly strong. It doesn't have to be an overly strong government and it be a communist government where there's no incentives to work, or a socialist government where there's less incentives to work.
Hold on.
And everyone's equal.
Define socialism and communism.
If I were to dumb it down,
you don't need to.
a lot of the basic ideas of socialism are welfare, free healthcare, more affordable housing for many people. And where does that money come from? That money comes from taxpayer money. Socialism, when pushed to the extreme, becomes communism.
Okay, and what's communism?
Communism is when the government runs everything and no one actually makes any money. So that's what happens. And how many communistic countries or societies have ever been successful? Or socialism? This country was built off capitalism.
What's capitalism?
Well, capitalism comes from a weaker governing body and more private organizations, private companies running our country.
Okay,
and
so then why are you advocating for communism? You just said government runs everything. You just advocated for communism when you said you wanted the government to establish a baseline, and that's necessary for work because you want the government.
No, I did not advocate for communism.
You were advocating for the government to fix people's problems, which is communism, rather than advocating for capitalism, which is a weak government body with private corporations and free markets, buddy. How about you accept capitalism, you fucking commie?
Here, let me finish. I'm relying on the government to enforce the law. That is written, right? To enforce the law. Do you believe that we should enforce the law?
So I mean, I believe that the government should enforce.
Is
the law.
it here? Answer this. Is it legal or illegal to come into the country illegally without getting a visa.
You're advocating for socialized welfare.
No.
You're advocating for socialism, man.
No, I'm not.
By the way,
how am I doing that?
the way that he defined socialism, by the way, was free healthcare, affordable housing, and welfare. Okay. By the way, that sounds good. That sounds fantastic, right? Affordable housing, free healthcare, and welfare, dude. That sounds like a great system. By the way, it's liberalism. That's not socialism.
Here,
Socialism
how about this?
is
This
when
is
the
my
workers
take on
control
it.
the means of
This
production.
is my take.
Communism
This-
is a stateless, classless, moneyless society in which the public ownership, there's public ownership of the means of production. Capitalism is just private ownership of the means of production. Okay, so I'm a liberal, right? And that
Yes, sir.
having
I
affordable
respect
housing,
that.
free
I'm not
healthcare,
gonna
and welfare
insult
is
you.
obviously something you can have in a capitalist system still.
Yes, sir. Can I explain my stance on that?
Go for it.
If you can't afford healthcare and you make enough money to pay for healthcare, you should pay for it on your own. You don't need to pay a bunch of taxes to pay for it. If you are disabled, you literally cannot work. You cannot work. Or you are working 8 to 10 hours a day and you are not making enough money to afford healthcare, you should be afforded healthcare. But healthy young Americans making a lot of money should not have to pay large amounts of taxes to support free healthcare for people who are just living on welfare.
Hey, no, everyone deserves healthcare in this country the same way that everyone deserves education, everyone deserves access to public roads, and everyone deserves access to basic amenities. Healthcare is
Yes, sir. That's what I just said. That's what I just said.
Things. Everyone deserves access to this. If they cannot afford it, they should be able to get access to it. You're saying people who already make enough specifically should not be able to get access to the system. They should have to pay for it themselves. Well, you understand that if
Yes,
we
sir.
provide it for everyone, that ensures an incentive for that system to be good for everyone, rather than that system being specifically just offloaded specifically to people who can't pay for it otherwise. We want it to take care of everyone, because no one can afford a random fucking multiple $100,000 expense because they get cancer. Like, no one can. Right? Everyone needs that. If you have a better paying job, you still need it. So the idea that people don't need it, I think, is ridiculous in plenty of circumstances. And I also want to provide an incentive to create a system that's good. Now, you can have a system of private insurance if people want to go onto it, but there should be a public option that people want to go onto. That's good.
No matter how much money you make, you should be able to get free healthcare.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And where does that free healthcare come from?
From our government system and paying for it.
From taxes, right?
Yes, because listen, think about it this way. Right now, our current system, we pay for it through private insurance, right? And we're still paying for other people's healthcare because it's in insurance.
Yes, sir. We have Medicaid. We have Obamacare.
Yeah,
So-
no. I'm saying in private health insurance, they pool up your money. The insurers pool up your money from people who buy that health insurance, and then they
Yes,
take
sir.
from
Yeah.
that pool whenever people specifically have things that they need to pay out. Okay, so that's what I'm
But
saying.
that's
is that, like,
capitalism.
you're
That's not
already
being run by the government.
Yeah, but I understand that like this system is actually like has perverse incentives because of the for-profit motive, specifically in relation to healthcare. There's a profit incentive to literally not give dignity to another person, right? To reduce their access to healthcare, and everyone deserves
Yeah.
access to healthcare. No one.
But
should
there's
have
also a
restricted access.
profit. Yes, sir. I totally understand that take. But at the same time, there's a profit incentive to perform highly in your job. And if you are spending more money, and people who are making a lot of money are getting taxed highly, there's going to be less of an incentive for them to perform very well in their jobs, which will cause healthcare to struggle.
Think about it.
You know,
this way.
we've
Someone
seen that.
who's
We've
making-
seen that
someone
in
who's
other
making
countries.
millions
right?
of dollars a year, right? They're already at a point
Yes, sir.
where they specifically,
Yes.
right, if they were going to get limited from working more because it's not going to provide much of a change in their quality of life, the extra money that they get, then they would have stopped working. So there becomes a point that people are going to work because they want to amass wealth. And it's not going to
Yes,
prevent
sir.
people who are trying to do that specifically from trying to continue to grow their wealth, because they still want to grow their wealth, and them growing their wealth through the context of income would allow them to do so, right? Allow them to grow their wealth. It would just take them a little bit longer to get there. Right? Does it make sense?
I
Like, they
see. I
still wanna
totally
get to a specific
understand that
target
concept.
number.
They do. I mean, a lot of people, men and women who are highly motivated, do want to accumulate a large amount of wealth. And I think if you want to accumulate a large amount of wealth, you're not going to do that by living in a socialistic
This isn't
country.
socialism.
You know, you're going to do that in capitalism.
This
It's
isn't
socialism, liberalism.
Liberalism
Okay.
is
Yeah,
not socialism.
Well, there are similarities.
They're not the same thing. And saying there are
Yeah,
socialist
well,
ideas
just like
within the context
socialism
of
isn't-
liberalism is totally
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, but that's just like saying socialism isn't the same as communism. It's not, but they overlap quite a bit. Communism just has like more government control, but there's still a lot of government control in socialism.
You're not understanding what socialism or communism. Communism is a stateless, classless, moneyless society.
Yeah, it's all government controlled.
No. So when you say government,
Right?
government
No?
doesn't have control in that way. It's just a distribution and mechanism in communism. There is no state. So state is a monopoly on violence. Okay? If it's a stateless society, that means that there is no monopoly on violence, which is actually something I argue is like there's an issue with the system. Like I think you do need a monopoly on violence to ensure that institutions of oppression do not arise.
Okay, I understand that. So you're saying in communism, there is no overarching leader that controls the country?
No. So like those particular things throughout history that you're referencing that are quote unquote communist, those aren't necessarily communist economies. Those are people who were communists trying to achieve communism, but not within a system that is currently communist. So like a lot of times that devolves towards authoritarianism. Right, and
it does
because they're
It
trying
does.
to
They
respond
overlap.
to,
I totally agree
They
with
want to
that.
respond to like powers that exist around the world, and them going after their particular economic models or things that they're advocating for, or they want to engage in global spread of communist ideology, things like that. So those are particular types of communists. Not all communists specifically, right, have that particular mechanism of trying to reach communism that way. Right, but communism in of itself is a stateless, classless, moneyless society. Again, I'm not a communist, but I'm gonna at least
You
tell
don't
you what
believe
it
in
is.
communism, right?
Yeah, I don't believe in communism, but I'm going to tell you what it is, because I think that when people say it's just government does stuff, we're actually not even talking about what it is, and then also you're just going to call liberals communists for no reason.
Oh, I never said that. I never said that. I'm not one of those guys.
Actually, here, 1 second. I don't mean to cut you off, but by the way, I just learned this.
You're good, man.
Can we get some happy birthdays to Hannah in the comment section right now? Happy birthdays to Hannah in the comment section right now? Absolutely. Let me ask real quick. 1 sec. Sorry. Give me 1 second. I just need to make sure something prior. Yeah, okay. So by the way, this is Santana's wife. Happy birthday to Santana's wife. Happy birthday, Hannah. And that's Hanna, by the way. That's Hanna.
Happy birthday, Hannah.
Happy birthday, Hannah.
There we
Happy
go.
birthday, Hannah.
There we go.
I just wanted to make sure I could say Santana's wife. Absolutely. Show everyone, show your love. Absolutely. Alrighty. What were you saying?
So like, just out of curiosity, like, what party would you associate yourself with? Like, what would you call yourself if someone asked about your political affiliation?
Democratic.
Democratic, like a democratic socialist, or just
No,
democratic.
I'm a social democrat. So I'm a progressive liberal. So I'll oftentimes agree with democratic socialists, because democratic socialists are advocating for progressive liberalism within the context of the system that we have right now. It's just that typically when people consider themselves democratic socialists, not necessarily in the United States, but in typical, they're talking about they want to go further than just social democracy. They want to move to a social system beyond that. But we agree in the context of the system right now that we're specifically agreeing on that particular position of social democracy. So, like, for example, like Mamdani's advocating for liberal policies within the context of our system, but he's not advocating.
He's not a full-on socialist.
He technically probably is, ideologically speaking. It's just within the current system he advocates for social democracy, because socialism is unattainable.
Okay. Well, I just believe, I think we should have, if we are paying a good amount of taxes, our taxes should go to our military and our police.
So, like, I have a question. If Donald Trump pardoned violent rioters who beat police officers on January 6th, would you still vote for him?
Sorry, my mom came in. Repeat that again.
If Donald Trump pardoned violent rioters who beat police officers on January 6th, would you still support him?
If he pardoned violent rioters
who beat police officers,
no.
Okay.
No, I would
He
not support
literally
that.
did do that. For example, Donald Trump pardoned DJ Rodriguez, who drove a stun gun into the neck of a police officer, which led to that police officer having a heart attack.
What's the context? There has to be some context behind that. Why he did
January
that.
6th. It was January 6th.
He just pardoned him?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Is the context that the police officer was actually being extremely aggressive with the guy?
No.
And then he defended himself?
No.
No? Okay. Well, I will say, and like I said earlier, I don't support everything about Trump, but I support the Republican Party and I support capitalism. And if I had to affiliate with one
So
party,
then you still would vote for Donald Trump even though he pardoned violent rioters who beat police officers on January 6th?
I think this is where it ends. I think you're going to kick me out again. Now that I say it, I think I just wouldn't vote at all.
Okay.
I just think I just wouldn't vote at all.
Okay, good. At least we got you there. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Everyone will help get out to more people. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Linktree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube. As well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, hello, Mr. Parker. I support him. I should. I'm paying for his house renovations.
You're trolling. There's no way.
Sorry?
What do you mean you're paying for his house renovations, bro?
Well, yes, I pay taxes. Of course, taxes are what is being taken out of
It's actually technically private. It's technically private funding.
Yes, well, I'm referring to the fact that he is removing money from the DOJ to pay for his, of course.
Okay, and he took money from the DOJ. Okay. Wait, actually,
I'm assuming it was a 230 million. Of course, I'm still going to cover the entire cost of the ballroom.
Hey, Dean, were you specifically doing it for this guest or just in general?
No, just in general. I just tuned in. I don't even know what this guy's talking about.
Yeah, I think they're trolling. So, how you feeling, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling all right. I've just been laying on my couch all day long. Like I'm talking, like I woke up at like 11, right? Started surfing the web, right? Now it's 5, so it's been a long day of nothing whatsoever. How about yourself?
I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. That feels horrible. I did some stuff earlier. I got some elevation stuff.
Oh my god, I'm in.
Yeah. What's up, man? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Okay. If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
I would definitely vote for Donald Trump.
And how old are you?
18.
What's your birth year?
May 9th, 2007.
Okay. And why do you support Trump?
Trump? Why do you support Kamala? Like, what's Kamala's greatest accomplishment?
Kamala, the Inflation Reduction Act. Now, can you answer my question?
All right, yeah, what's your question?
Why do you support Trump?
Trump's just good. I like his gun laws. I like his policies. I like his abortion rules.
Gun laws. Can you name one of his gun laws that you like?
I like that we're able to carry around guns without...
So the next individual, only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria. List on the TikTok screen. So yeah, today I just I got some elevation stuff. One thing I talked to some people about like something that's coming up here pretty soon that I'm gonna be doing. I'll have to tell you about it. I think I did tell you about it already. Can't say it on live.
Are you talking about what's going on the 12th?
No, tomorrow for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the British guy?
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know, maybe you accidentally just gave it up, but
no, I don't think that's nearly enough information.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, that's happening tomorrow, and then so I talked to people about that, and then ate food, and then I hopped on. That's all I've done today. My girlfriend gave me a haircut yesterday. Literally just like cut like because my hair was getting way too long.
It actually,
just, like, wanted to cut it.
it actually looks pretty fire.
Yeah, it's actually good. She did a great job. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
I don't want to say something.
There's no way that person supports Trump. That's like the troll picture that people always use.
Oh, also, just real quick, I would like to give a massive birthday shout out to Hannah, Santana's wife. So I know that she's watching right now. Happy birthday.
Yes. Yo, what's up, how old are you? Okay, let's go to the next individual. Do give it a second. Was it taking a while for you to get guests today? Yesterday?
Yeah, it was pretty difficult at times.
Yo, what's up, how old are you?
Hello. Hi, I'm 30, born in 1995.
Do you support Trump?
Yes.
If you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Donald Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
Why do I support him? Well, I'm sorry. Let me just start by saying I just joined. I think it's great that you're doing this. I'm not a debater, but I just thought I'd share. I actually study economics, and what the feds are doing currently right now in terms of reducing the national debt is through debt debasement, and they're doing that through using stable coin, which is why the prices of Bitcoin and gold have been going up. The U.S. Treasury is no longer going to be the reserve currency, and so what's happening right now is, so like I don't support him on a personal level, only on an economic level, because when you kind of see the guts of what's happening behind the scenes, you sort of start to understand that, one, the welfare system has been heavily abused. Two, I am a huge supporter of welfare systems, especially Social Security. So the only reason is when I follow his executive orders and I follow what the feds are saying, it definitely, I am in the bathroom, sorry. So that's exactly why I support him. Other than that, I think he's working in the best interest of the economy and not anything else. But I can't speak for any other argument other than on an economic and financial standpoint, especially since I'm in certain industries where we study like the pipelines to critical minerals and rare earths. So I see what's happening and I see how scary it is, because the labor market is not, first of all, tariffs are not affecting the labor market, and inflation is simply the value of the US dollar that is dropping through the process of debt debasement, because we can no longer compete using the US dollar with the Chinese yuan anymore because of multiple failed administrations. And it's a huge crap show anyway. But I do wanted to hear your thoughts, because I know economic policies change in various cycles. I could have a conservative standpoint in one administration, and that can change depending on the factors. So I just wanted to hear what you had to say.
Yeah, so tariffs do affect inflation. They do cause inflation to go up in this country. That's very well documented. We can point to specifically how tariffs have put upward pressure on prices right now, which is why we see 3% inflation as of the last particular types of analysis that indicates this, where it was down to 2.3% at a point under Trump's administration prior to the implementation of the level of tariffs that we saw on Liberation Day. So that's one thing to say. Secondly, in terms of the reserve currency of the world, I don't see how Trump would benefit the conditions for that. If anything, he's decreased trade with the United States, therefore devaluing the U.S. dollar even more, because it's the fact that he's made it even less of an incentive to engage in trade with the United States. And then also because by increasing the cost of trade. And then also saying the welfare system is abused is not a reason to support Trump or to advocate for Republican policies, as they are not cutting people off specifically or quote unquote abusing it. They're cutting off people specifically who do need it in most instances. So those would be the few things I would point to there. So I don't think economically speaking, Trump is better off.
Yes, and I do agree with some of the points that you made. So you said that the tariffs are causing the U.S. dollar to drop. Can you explain that?
Yeah, tariffs cause an increase in the price of consumer products because they cause a decrease in the supply of goods coming to this country from other countries around the world, because it increases the cost of selling it to American consumers, because of the fact that the American importing business, they have to pay a tariff to the government specifically just to buy goods from other countries around the world.
Right, okay. So do you know which critical minerals are undergoing tariffs right now?
Which critical minerals are undergoing tariffs? I think
Yes.
I think that Donald Trump has universalized tariffs on countries around the entire world. I wouldn't be able to mention every single specific critical mineral that they have a particular tariff on.
Okay, and so let me ask my next question. What would be the solution to the really terrible job market right now that is especially going to affect the younger generation in college, especially since AI boom is having a big impact on that as well?
Well, I think that Donald Trump imposing tariffs has made it significantly worse for us being able to address the conditions for the labor market, and that it was significantly stronger prior to the implementation of the tariffs. So I think that's definitely negatively caused that. Secondly, there was a huge manufacturing boom under the Biden-Harris administration. So if you care about an increase in manufacturing jobs, well, then we'd want to relate to the policies passed by the Biden-Harris administration that clearly did that. Biden was also advocating to regulate some aspects of AI, and then also was more fiscally responsible. I can point to all of those things. I don't think that Trump's better for employment by any means.
Right, so you're saying that the tariffs are directly causing the labor market to be really bad?
Worse off, yes. They're causing the labor market to be worse off. It's accelerating how bad it is.
Okay, so can you explain how that works?
Yeah, because it causes the cost of manufacturing goods in the United States to go up, because cost of the manufacturing process, many of the materials required in the manufacturing process comes from countries around the world. So if you cause an increase in the cost of manufacturing, that's going to decrease the incentives to manufacture in the United States.
Okay,
also, like, export
so
jobs,
I will disagree on that because are you familiar with the term taco?
Yeah.
Right. So basically, I went through each executive order regarding the tariffs, and he actually didn't even enforce, I would say, 90% of what he has said he was going to enforce. Some of the stuff that he's tariffing are really like highly processed and very niche specific minerals. So like super.
He has put universalized tariffs on countries, and also you could say that like he got rid of a lot of the tariffs specifically that he originally said that he was going to impose, but that doesn't mean that he hasn't imposed any level of tariffs, and the tariffs specifically that he has imposed have caused an increase in the cost of goods for American consumers and put upward pressure on prices. That's a fact.
Yes, that I would say it is a fact that tariffs do affect consumer prices. I don't think that tariffs are the majority influencing factor that are causing. It's the debt debasement, which is what the Feds are doing. It's the decreasing value of the U.S. dollar because of the Chinese competition, and it's also, and I'm sure, and this is where I agree on liberals,
That's not the
is
reason
private
why
equity.
the valuation of the dollar is going down to degree it is. I definitely didn't see that. I mean, that doesn't explain the trend difference specifically since Trump got in office.
So I mean, listen, I totally hear what you're saying, but I'm just letting you know because I don't want to tell too much about my business, but anyway, so let's forget about that. Let me ask you one more thing. What would be a good solution to the labor market? How do we get more redomestication inside the US because of the outsourcing and because of the really high inflation?
How do we incentivize jobs to exist in the United States? Well, I think that's an extremely hard question to answer. I don't think anyone specifically has the ability to do that. I think that we can incentivize and subsidize certain types of specialized manufacturing in the United States. I like renewable energy production and building up energy production relating to things that are obviously going to be impactful for the future in terms of how we produce energy. So those would be things that I would point towards. I don't think that I have a 100% solution for the labor market in general.
Right. I think that's the biggest thing.
I can just say things that I think would be better or make things more affordable for average working class people. I don't know the 100% fix to say that how is everyone going to get the best set of conditions ever possible. I'm just pointing things in a more positive direction essentially.
Okay, that's really great. Okay, so I just want to say I'm really sorry that you get a lot of dumb people. I can tell you're very smart and you really want to share. I do think you should study more on the tariffs and the debt debasement, and then I do agree with the fact that the labor market is completely destroyed, and it's very scary. And so I think that should be the top priority of this administration.
Well, like then
All right,
they
have a
do
good night.
the opposite for this because tariffs make it worse off for that. You might not even think it's the. Oh, they just left. I was like, you might not even think it's the majority of it. Say you don't think it's the majority, right, of the cause of the situations that are happening right now. I definitely think it is. But if you don't think it is, that still doesn't mean that it isn't a contributing factor under your perspective. So, alrighty, let's go on the next individual. Madeline, thank you so much for the $2. Definitely not. DK, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $20. Thank you so much, DK. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's true. I do think that those are good. That's why infrastructure is really positive. Mista, thank you so much for the $5. Yo, what's up, how old are you? Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Gene, how you feeling, man?
Ooh, I'm feeling all right. I just prepping to go live, so I said, peace out to my girlfriend for the rest of the evening. And I just went and I checked on her, and she's come down with the same sickness that I have. So before I hop on,
you got her sick.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. So before I hop on, I'm gonna make her some food.
Oh, that's.
Sorry. So.
John, how old are you?
I am 19. I was born March 2nd, 2007.
2007?
No, I'm just joking. I just wanted to say something real quick.
I apologize. Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria list on the TikTok screen. By the way, everyone, I might split up my live today. So whenever Dean goes live, I'll probably just send everyone over to them. Or over to
How long
Dean's
have you been
live,
on?
And then I've been on for about 3 hours. So I was just going to split it up and just do probably a 2-hour live later or something like that. Yeah. Let's go on the next individual. I was like, oh, Dean could totally do battles today. Yeah, we should get him doing battles while sick. You lose his voice. What's up, Hal?
Yeah, I can't be too loud.
Yeah, no, we could test the limits on that one. Battles would definitely do that. Imagine trying to do battles right now.
Dude, I'm down to start doing those again. Those were pretty fun back in the day.
Really, we got to do that here pretty soon. That was really fun. What's up, how old are you?
You should both play Farm Sim.
W Farm Sim? Maybe I will. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everyone. Alrighty, we're trying to get the next person up here. If you want to support me, as always, everyone, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. Let's get the next person up here as well. Do tap that screen. Do share the live, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you? By the way, everyone, I will be live later in the day tomorrow, everyone. I have to get up really early tomorrow. Like, super early.
What time?
Like 6:30. Or earlier.
Dang, dude. Do you think you have it in you to pull that off?
Yeah, I do. It's just gonna be brutal. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
Yeah, 6. Oh.
Yo, what's up, how old are you?
You talking to me?
Yeah, how old are you?
40.
Do you support Trump?
I do.
Okay. And if you could go back in time, you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
And why do you support Trump?
Because he gave us better real wage growth to inflation than what we had under the Biden administration.
Well, since Trump has got in office, we've seen real wage growth decline. Since the end
and
of
also
the Biden
that's
administration.
That's not even true. No, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, real median wages grew at around 2.8% under Trump in his first term. Meanwhile, they grew close to 4% under Biden and Harris in their 4 years.
Yes, but I said to inflation, and when inflation in 2022 hits a 40-year high of 9%, then the real wage growth doesn't matter.
He said real wage growth accounts for inflation. Did you know that?
I did know it, but it doesn't. When inflation is outpacing your real wage growth,
what are you saying,
dude?
Dude, did inflation not outpace real wage growth to the tune that people were having to pay $11,000 more on average?
That means that you would have declining real wage growth.
Yeah, so I don't know.
And that's what we saw in 2022.
So real wage growth is a figure that factors in for inflation. So like just the statement, did inflation outpace real wage growth? That's just gibberish, you know. Like I don't know what that sentence even means, since inflation is a necessary component of the evaluation of what real wage growth is. So, if inflation outpaced like nominal rate wage growth, then we'd say that real wage growth was negative. However, that wasn't the case in America under the Biden-Harris administration.
That was the case. People weren't getting over $11,000 more on average to pay for the inflation that they had to see.
According to the U.S. Bureau of Economics, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so the middle and lower
the Bureau
class.
of Labor Statistics indicates that there was absolutely real wage growth.
Yeah, so the middle and lower class are not suffering from credit card debt of groceries on credit cards due to inflation since 2022.
No one's disputing that inflation's gone up and people are dealing with inflation, but what you're not understanding is that wages increased to account for inflation, right? And if you're talking about like the conditions for real wage growth, they're actually made worse specifically under the Trump administration.
From what prices are higher right now because of what Trump has done that is affecting the middle and lower class?
What policies has he implemented have negatively impacted the working class? Well, tariffs.
Okay, so what are they buying in the middle and lower class that are directly affected because of tariffs?
Well, because specifically, or talk about groceries typically within the context of the economy, energy prices, pharmaceuticals.
Groceries are up because of the extreme global weather. Your milk is up because of HPAI, which is an influenza. Your cattle stock is low because of 2023 drought and hasn't recovered yet.
We're talking about groceries as a whole.
Yeah, I know. And I'm giving you all the examples of why the groceries as a whole are up.
Groceries are definitely pushed up in terms of the upward pressure on the prices because of the fact that tariffs have been implemented.
No, because of the global weather issues affecting the crops, your HPAI, which is a influenza affecting your milk and dairy products.
That's not the inflation across everything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, grocery prices are up because of multiple factors and very little to do with tariffs. Look it up.
So you're saying that they have very little to do with tariffs specifically, but even though the tariffs have put upward pressure on prices on other aspects of the economy, not just on groceries. I already mentioned other aspects of the economy.
Okay, electricity
on it because of tariffs.
Yeah, your electricity is up because we haven't been able to meet the global demand because we've been pivoting to renewable energy, which cannot meet the demand of the electricity with AI and all of your server stacks. I'm not lying. Look it up.
You are, because Trump has cut the funding for them through the context of the Inflation Reduction Act. He's been cutting the funding for renewable energy. Renewable energy is actually what's been decreasing in prices still, even given the fucking decreases in subsidies, particularly under the Trump administration.
So
and
you're telling me
the $20 said happy birthday to Two Sheds. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Or like PJM getting sued by Josh Shapiro because of fudging the numbers, which is what raised the prices for anyone in the PJM area.
Here, Dean, can you talk to me real quick? I want to grab something to drink real quick. If you're here.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was in the middle of making some tea, but I pretty much got it done.
Can you or just? I'm just.
Yeah. Good drive.
For sure. Sorry, because I haven't had anything to drink the whole stream.
No, you're good, man.
Which, in all honesty, the tariffs barely affect products compared to a 28% increase on your corporate tax rate that Harris was trying to impose.
Yeah, I don't think that a 4% increase in the corporate tax rate would have hiked prices. Do we have higher prices under Trump in his first term or Obama in his second?
Obama in his with Obama, I don't know. I haven't looked into it.
Okay. Well, the question to the answer would be under Trump in his first term. I'm not saying that the rate of inflation was super high, but just simply denoting that inflation took place, which isn't too surprising. But it definitely does kind of contradict your position, given the fact that we had a substantially higher corporate tax rate under Obama until the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act passed and reduced it from 35 to 25. So if a 10% reduction in the corporate tax rate didn't have any impact on inflation, and in fact inflation continued to occur, then why would a 4% hike on the corporate tax rate be causing more inflation than tariffs on every other country in the world?
But because you gave them a tax relief and now you're going to tax them higher, giving them a reason to state that they're going to impose that cost down to the consumer, even though they more than likely won't feel the cost because of all the tax loopholes they'll probably receive.
So why did they use that as a reason under Obama?
When did the tax rate go up?
It went down in 2018 with the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act.
I know it went down from 35 to 21%.
Not to mention, right, that like the price of these goods, right, is impacted by corporate price gouging. But guess what? Kamala Harris also ran on policy to federally ban, right, particular types of corporate price gouging.
I know. What, we're going to do a communistic policy setting corporate prices? And she tried to do that in California, but nobody actually got in trouble in California for it.
Can you define communism?
Define communism? Why? It's a communistic policy to price control, is it not?
Okay, so Trump's price controls were communistic?
Yeah, I guess Trump's a communist.
They are, yes. Price control policies are communistic policy.
Let's go,
Commie
Trump, communist Trump.
Oh, I call Trump out all the time, including his executive order on flag burning, but his words.
Wait, so you support someone with communistic ideology?
I support majority of policies, not all policies. I call Trump out all the time on my live.
On your live? So you run your live? You have a live?
I do. Dean's been in there. Dean actually laughed at someone while on my live because he was being a complete moron in why he hated Trump. Yeah, this was in the comments.
Yeah, this guy runs daily Trump lives. I remember that, dude. Some liberal was up on his live, like literally like freaking out, like spamming slurs, saying that he wanted to like beat up this guy, right? And I was like just telling this liberal he was a terrible representation for the left. But regardless of that, and I mean, back to the debate. What's the substance?
Yeah, like what? What type of relevance was that? Now, if you want to talk about your whole little thing, I have a question for you. Let's run this on you, and hopefully you don't think this is changing the topic. If you do, you don't have to answer if you don't feel like it. Would you vote for someone held civilly liable of sexual abuse?
I voted for Trump, and he was held civilly liable. But what was the physical evidence in the case?
Well, I mean, I can point to specific things, but I asked you a question. Would you vote for him? Yes or no?
I already did.
You did. Okay, so would you vote for him if he were held civilly liable of sexually abusing a child?
He hasn't. But no, I wouldn't.
I'm asking, okay, what's the relevant difference between the victim being a child and the victim being an adult? That means in one scenario you'd vote for him over Kamala Harris, but in the other scenario you wouldn't.
See, the thing is, in that case, she accused 6 other men without bringing any litigation to 6 other men. She said 20 plus other men. Yes, she did. She in her book she accuses 6 total men.
Not true. That's wrong.
That is 1,000% true.
You want to
bet? She
bet?
also said.
Do you want to bet?
Listen. If you can name 3 other people that she's accused, I'll give you $100.
Her camp counselor. Let me see. Camp counselor, brother, and.
Wait, are you talking about sexual assault?
Yes.
Of forcefully penetrating her vagina against her will. Okay, so then let's talk about. Let's put money on this. How much would you like to bet? You said 6 different people.
I don't know. I got like $50K in my bank account.
You want to bet $50K? Make an actual legitimate bet.
I have $50K in my bank account. Like, you guys get how the DNC or other people.
I'm not going to take your whole bank account, man.
Okay.
Why are you telling me how much is in your whole bank account? I didn't ask that question. I asked you, how much would you bet?
I said, this is how much I have. How much are you willing of that to take? How much, or not take, but lose?
Exactly. How much am I willing to take?
How much are you willing to lose?
I'm not going to take all $50K, bro. You said that we were paid by the DNC. What makes you think that we're paid by the DNC?
I said DNC and others like Midas Touch.
When did Midas Touch pay me?
Midas Touch is pushing out payments to people as well because of all their.
Wait, when did Midas Touch send me money?
It's been well documented that Midas Touch sends money, PAC from the DNC, and the DNC sends out money. Are you guys saying that you get nothing from anyone? Are you saying you get nothing from anyone? The only thing you get is from people here that donate to you and the videos you push out. That nobody else pays you to push out propaganda.
I just make money off of YouTube ads, TikTok, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Linktree in the bio. Go ahead.
I would love to see those tax returns to prove that.
Yo, real quick. You're saying that like we're paid by the DNC. So explain why last week I had the chairman of the DNC, Ken Martin, up on my stream, and I asked him, right, if I'm paid by him or the DNC as a whole, right, and he irrefutably said absolutely not.
Oh, he must be lying. He must be lying.
That doesn't mean they don't give it to a media company that paid you or anything of the sort.
What media
Jojo, thank you so much for the $30 for the Midas.
I don't know, it could be
mighty
management,
paycheck.
there's multiple media
Jojo, thank you for
companies.
the $30 for the Midas mighty paycheck. Thank you so much. J-Dubs, thank you so much for the $50. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Actually, all through TikTok. Really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Give me 3 W's for Jay in the comment section. DK with the $10. Thank you so much. Midas Touch, obviously sending all the money that they possibly can, apparently, to Parker Get a Job stream, apparently, which, you think happened, which you have no reason to believe at all. And by the way, you're asking for evidence for things, but then you have literally no basis for this at all.
Yeah. Like, dude, you're going to say that a civil court was wrong when 90 anonymous jurors determined that Donald Trump raped Teaching Terrell. But then you're right when you basically assume with no evidence whatsoever that we're paid by the DNC or Midas Touch. You're just, I don't know, man. I feel like you're kind of like a political grifter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not grifting. I don't even ask for so much as a tap. I don't battle, tap, asking, or anything on my live. People do what they do, and I just let them do it. I don't care if I talk to 5 people or one person.
So then you turn off your gifts?
I don't.
Oh, why not?
I just let people do as they do. I don't ask for shit.
Didn't you just plug your live in the stream?
I said that I was mentioning it because Dean was in there and how there was a person on the left that was talking some nonsense.
Wait, yeah, you literally plugged it on my stream, dude. Shut the fuck up. Max, thank you for the $10 for Midas Touch as well. Donate, thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And fucking J-Dubs, thank you again with the $300 on YouTube Super Chat. Holy shit, can we have some W's for J-Dubs in the comment section for the $300 on YouTube Super Chat? Holy shit, thank you so much. Yeah, I think you can only do it through social media, but I don't really have any other mechanism to do so outside of social media. Maybe sometime I can add in a phone number here. But thank you so much, J-Dubs. Can we have some W's for J-Dubs in the comment section right now? Thank you so much. And then, Mr. Thank you so much for $10. Thank you for Midas Touch representative and Quinn.
Should we go over the 6 people that she?
Hold up. Let Dean say thank you real quick.
Morgan, I appreciate you so much for the $5. Thank you so much.
W's right there. Alrighty. All right, you there?
I am here.
Okay, go for it. You were saying?
So it was an unnamed camp counselor in her book, What Do We Need Men For? And also an ABC interview in June of 2019. The former CBS CEO in her book, as well as the New York Magazine excerpt. Then it was an unnamed lake house owner, and that was in her book. It was an unnamed prominent journalist also mentioned in her book, an unnamed acquaintance in her book, and she implied Harvey Weinstein in multiple interviews but never sued, saying he groped her in a dressing room.
Yeah, so
like I said, she mentioned 6 people have done similar acts to her but never sued them.
Yeah, so, okay, so, again, in these circumstances that you're referencing, we were talking about specifically referencing forceful penetration of a woman's vagina against her will. That's the connotation that we're referencing. You've brought up situations specifically of things that are listed in the book where she specifically names 2 people. There were people specifically, Donald Trump and Less Movies, or I'm pretty sure that's how you
Less
pronounce it.
Movies.
Yes, that's correct. That's his name.
Those are the two that are mentioned specifically. Other circumstances, she specifically talks about situations where there are individuals that specifically are unnamed, right? And in these circumstances, right, there's not specifically a particular person that's named or anything like that. So there's no particular accusation towards a particular person that you can reference. She's just talking about things that have happened in her life.
Yeah, so a total of 6 people have done similar acts to her, but no other lawsuits.
Yeah, I'm sorry. She came after people specifically who defamed her. She came after Donald Trump for defaming her. And also in terms of the circumstance, one, you specifically weren't necessarily correct there. Secondly, it's not uncommon for people to specifically have multiple people who have specifically engaged in sexual misconduct towards them, and then for them to specifically come out and talk about that.
So, due to the Adult Survivors Act, why didn't she go after any of the other people?
One, they'd have to be specific people, and this is due to the fact that she went after people who defamed her. She didn't just go after every single person specifically. She didn't go after the Last Moonves guy as well.
I'm pretty sure he also said he didn't do it.
Oh, wow, shocking.
So, why wouldn't she go after him?
Wait, really?
The Adult Survivors Act allowed it.
He didn't admit to raping her? Wow. Also, can we just bring up the fact that the civil court proceedings between E. Jean Carroll and Donald Trump lasted 4 years, with pre-trial proceedings beginning in 2019 and then the adjudication of the court coming down in 2023. So I just think it's absurd of you to ask, well, why did she only go after one individual compared to all 6? It's just insane to assume, right, that if E. Jean Carroll was a victim, then she'd give up, on average, a projected 20 years of her life, right, towards the pursuit of litigation against the individuals who have sexually committed sexual violence against her. Right. And the reasons why she pursued litigation against Donald Trump were incredibly clear. Right. He was the serving president running for re-election, right, spamming on Truth Social about how this is a crazy lady who's basically accusing him of raping her and that she deserves to be thrown in jail. Honestly, if Les Moonves was in a similar position, right, I wouldn't doubt it that she would have pursued litigation against him too. But I don't think that this is a good, more compelling counter-argument against her proven claim against Donald J. Trump because of all the facts that I just brought up and more.
Well, did she not make money off of her initial claim?
Did she not make money off of her claim? You're talking about the claim that she made in her book, right?
Yes, where she published
money
it
off the book.
On the excerpt in the New Yorker.
She made money off the book. The same way, wait, are you saying, right, that because you make money off of your lives, given the fact that you accept gifts on TikTok, that therefore everything you say in your lives is false?
No.
Okay, all right. So then I think that your argument against E. Jean Carroll making money off of her book, therefore the claims made in the book are false, is pretty shitty.
Well, what's the physical evidence? Because if the outfit was a physical evidence, then why in the second time would they not give up the full appendix of the raw DNA for testing?
Just before we talk about the evidence presented in the case, can you concede that last argument you made about, well, she made money off of the claim in the book?
Well, she did. There's motive. That's motive in making money.
Because you made money off of this claim in the book, therefore that claim is false. So because you make money off of your lives, therefore everything you say in your life is false.
Well, was Elle magazine a popular magazine at the time she made the claim?
Wait, do you want to address Dean's argument there, please?
It wasn't.
Hey, hold up. Can you address Dean's argument there?
What? The fact that she made money off the book, which shows motive? Because she directly mentions the president on the front cover of the New Yorker magazine, which then says that the rest of it is in her book. It's the excerpt of her book. So she's making money.
I'm sorry, so you don't think that people who specifically make money off of stating something to be true, you're saying that they're lying. So again, like what Dean said, you make money off of your live streams. Does that mean that you're lying? Because you're doing so to make money?
But you have to, is there a motive of a reason that I could be lying?
Yes.
Like what?
Like you're making money off of it? People send you gifts? There's a motive, but
what
that doesn't necessarily
accusation
mean
would I
that
be?
Is your motive. There
But
is
what
a potential
accusation?
motive.
what accusation would I what would I be lying about that I'm making money off of because of my lies?
Trump supporter. You could be grifting.
I could be, but I mean, I don't even make a dent in money. Like, I make nothing. I'm a nobody on this app.
Wait, so you're saying anyone who makes money specifically off of, what they specifically believe in, you're saying that they don't actually believe that?
There's a lot of people that don't actually believe it. Like, you could literally see the second that Trump...
Would you have said that about Charlie Kirk? Would you say that he didn't actually believe what he said?
No, Charlie Kirk believed what he said.
But he made money off of it.
Oh, I know, but there's tons of people on here
Wasn't there a motive there? Wasn't there a motive there?
There's a motive.
Okay, so then would you argue that just because there was a motive, that means that everything that he said was
what
false?
What claim is he making against somebody else where that person is saying that is not factual, and he's making money off of said claim like that?
Like, for example, he said that the Republicans won the 2020 election with no evidence?
Yeah, that's a straight lie.
So
until someone shows me more evidence, that's a lie.
So you think
and I don't like to talk about 2020 because this is TikTok. Like, how many times has your live been taken down talking about the 2020 election?
Oh, you're so scared. Oh.
Well, yeah, I literally showed a DOJ case where somebody got arrested, tried and charged, and sentenced, and I got my live taken down. I don't talk about 2020 for that reason.
Okay, but you understand that my point there was valid.
I mean, you have some validity.
Okay, so then, again, your whole argument that specifically she had a quote unquote motive, right? That's not an argument, because the same thing would then be true about all your little favorite conservative content creators.
It could be true about everyone. Conservative content creators, for the most part, at least on this app, don't make anywhere near what you guys make.
You understand that there are other platforms, right?
I know.
Right, so then what's your point?
I'm just making the statement that you guys make way more. But how many times do you guys criticize your own party?
Wait, so are you just saying that we're more successful than you guys? Is that what you're just saying?
Yes.
Are you jealous?
No, but how many times do you guys criticize your own party?
Like Eli, thank you so much for the $100 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much, Eli. Give me some W's for Eli in the comment section right now. I actually didn't do debate in high school. I actually didn't do. Thank you so much, Eli, for the $100 on YouTube Super Chat. DK, thank you so much for the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the Beeb guide. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
I just got back. Now this guy's asking how often do we criticize our own party? When I had the chairman of the DNC on my live, I was criticizing him. I was criticizing the DNC.
Like what?
Yeah, for sure. I brought up the fact that I think the reason why the favorability rating of the Democratic Party is lower than the approval rating of the 34-count felon rapist that fulfills all 14 defining tenets of fascism, right, has a lot to do with people feeling a disconnect between them and their representatives, a growing anti-Israeli sentiment with 71% of Democrats at the age of 50 or under not supporting the state, but then a majority of our representatives in Congress supporting the state, and the Democratic Party no longer truly focusing on real affordability, the same way that we see people like Zoran Montani winning elections in New York and then not being endorsed by the Democratic representatives that live there, including Chuck Schumer. Like, shit, I literally posted something on my story yesterday about Chuck Schumer being like a POS, right, for not talking about Montani, not endorsing Montani. And if you go to my Twitter account, I replied to I replied to Joe Biden yesterday saying thank you for talking about Montani's win in New York City, right? Unlike a lot of other Democrats who won't, right? So I mean, I'd say that I criticize the Democratic Party quite frequently.
Okay, that's fair. At least you did, because it's rare to see on this app Democrats criticizing the party. They usually will just say, oh, well, Republicans did the shutdown, when that's not even true, because Republicans are voting.
You're talking to the most
majority no on
prominent
the cloture.
TikTok debater right now, Dean, right? And he literally just told you that he consistently is critiquing the Democrat or critiquing his own party.
And I said that's fair.
When do you see the golden millennial critiquing his own party?
The older millennial, well, he critiqued on the bombing of Iran.
Oh, that's
he didn't
one
support
thing.
Trump on that
True.
one.
That's one thing. That's one thing. You can't mention a single other one.
I don't know. I don't talk to Joe on a daily basis.
Okay. Get it right. It's the golden millennial. Okay, the golden millennial.
I tend to listen to a lot more of what you guys and the people on your platform here, like Johnny Palmadessa, say, so I can try to refute it instead of listening to people and getting a bias. I don't want to bias on my side.
Johnny Palmadessa was literally just criticizing Hakeem Jeffries in like a impromptu press conference for creators in DC like yesterday.
He was, because I mean, he asked a question about federal dollars going for the middle class and how the middle class isn't as representative of the federal dollars being spent on them compared to the rest. But I mean, the highest class isn't either. Like, social programs are for the middle and lower class.
Yeah, you're just like Johnny asked. I was just simply trying to demonstrate that he criticized Jeffries, which is true.
Well, his video wasn't a criticism. His video was asking a question that Jeffries then answered.
Then go look at the comment section under his video. Why is everybody like, we need to primary Jeffries out because he's insane?
Well, because no one is touting out policies. They're touting out how they hate Trump on the Democratic Party. Is all I keep hearing in my life.
We've given you multiple examples of us being very critical of our own side, whereas you can give us examples of yourself being critical or MAGA being critical of their own side. So why is this argument specifically just applicable to us that we're not critical of our own side and that we're some? Because you were using this as an argument to say that we're fucking paid, right?
Trump says a lot of dumbass shit. I call him out all the time. Like, he wrote the executive, or they wrote the executive order for him to sign on the flag burning, and then he literally says, I want people jailed for up to a year for burning the flag, which you can't do. Your executive order even mentions Texas v. Johnson, saying it cannot go against that. He's a dumbass on a lot of things he says. It's the actions that I take into account more than the shit he says.
So what do you even support him on, man? Like seriously,
because
like,
the actions.
Like, I want to go back to, actually, there's a point that I wanted to bring up too. You said that you wouldn't support him if you were held civilly liable of sexually abusing a child, but you would support him if you were held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman. Do you still hold that position, or have you changed it and now you're okay
because I don't believe E. Jean Carroll
liable of sexually abusing a child?
I just don't believe E. Jean Carroll. I don't believe that the dressing room was somehow.
Can you name one piece of evidence in the case that you dispute?
Well, one, they weren't giving up the raw DNA for the testing of Trump's DNA. Like, why do you not want...
That was Trump not giving up his DNA within the multiple years allotted where he had the ability to do so.
Yeah, but then he offered it for the raw DNA to be given to his side to refute it.
After the time allotted.
There was still enough time between the trial, was there not?
No, there was not. He specifically did so after the time slot allotted. This is like turning in your homework after it was due and then being like, why didn't they grade it? Why didn't they grade it?
So then why did the judge in the second time the first time he offered it?
Let Dean go quick. He's smiling. Go ahead.
So what it sounds like to me is that if you did believe E. Jean Carroll, then you wouldn't support Trump. So just to be clear, right, if you believe with certainty, right, based on undeniable evidence that Donald Trump had raped or sexually exploited, right, women and or girls, would you still support him as president?
By the way, I have to unmute because you were echoing. I muted you.
I was echoing?
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit of echo.
Yeah, I wouldn't support him if there was undeniable proof.
Okay. Can we agree that sexual exploitation would include the abuse of a position of power over the position of vulnerability of one else for sexual gratification or engaging in unconsensual sexual context for the furtherance of the abuse of power?
Oh, okay. What are you going to reference?
I'm just curious. Can we agree on that?
Yeah. What you're going to reference?
Well, okay. So we can agree on that. Okay. Well, then seemingly, if you're a man of your word, right, you're no longer going to be a Trump supporter in about 30 seconds from now, because Parker's going to play a clip of Donald Trump boasting about the sexual exploitation of naked women and or naked girls at Miss Teen USA and or Miss USA in 2005 to Howard Stern on his radio show, when he talked about how he'd unconsensually barge into their dressing rooms and look at women there naked with no clothes on. And this would definitely fulfill, right, the definition of sexual exploitation that we just agreed to, as he's abusing his position of power as the owner of the management to allow himself in, then abusing their position of vulnerability, right, vulnerable enough to get naked to change because they are in a private women's only space with no men around. Therefore, because you told me that you would no longer support Trump if you had undeniable evidence that Donald Trump had sexually exploited women and or girls, you are no longer a Trump supporter.
The owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
Howard
So
Stern
you have
interview.
done that.
It's not fake.
What's up?
It's not fake. It's like what from 2012. But like I said, Trump says a lot of dumbass shit. But then we had interviews where people were saying that they were pre-warned that a guest was going to come in. They need to get ready. They need to get dressed. So I believe the people of the contestants that stated it over Trump saying shit when Trump has multiple times said some lies and asinine stuff.
Wait, in that he says that they had no clothes on, right? So like maybe in some scenarios they were pre-warned and he went back there and gave them a heads up. But obviously we know that in other scenarios there was no heads up and he barged in there unconsensually without any warning and they were still naked because that's what Donald Trump said in the clip. So are you saying that when Donald Trump said he'd barge in there and see the naked women and girls that he didn't actually mean it?
Sorry, I'm muting again because it's just like there's a little bit of feedback.
Yeah.
By the way, after this, I'm going to drop down and start my own live. But like, listen, like Hoff, you have absolutely no reason to reject that Donald Trump has unconsensually barged in to the private women's only spaces and looked at the naked women and or girls there, right? Because that's what he admitted to. That's what he said.
I know, and I don't know why he's saying it when we have the women and the girls of the Miss Teen USA refuting it, saying otherwise, that it didn't happen. I don't know if he's trying to gain favor with Howard Stern because
How do you know that it didn't just happen to them? Right? How do you know that it didn't happen to like other women or other girls, right? Besides like the one contestant of Miss USA that you could name who said, I don't think he'd ever actually do this. He never did it to me. How do you know that he didn't do it to others? Like we obviously have more than enough evidence, right, to prove he did it to others because not only did others testify to the fact that he did it to them, and if you're going to accept the testimony of contestants that say otherwise, you thereby have to accept the testimony of the women and girls that affirmed what he said, not to mention what he said in his own admittance, right? Obviously, any rational brain would conclude, I'm sure that this didn't happen to all women at Miss USA. I'm sure that this didn't happen to all girls in Miss Teen USA, but we're also sure that it happened to at least some because that's what he said.
Oh, so that's also like in the context of a court system, a friend of a murderer being like, he didn't murder me, as a defense for them not murdering people. Like, what? Them not murdering one person is not evidence that they're not a murderer.
So what? Are you saying in the E. Jean Carroll case you had contestants saying that he did this?
No, I'm actually not referencing Eugene Carroll at all. I'm referencing when he told Howard Stern that he'd barge in on the private dressing rooms of women and girls at Miss Teen USA and Miss USA. Women and girls.
And we can confirm that Donald Trump has lied on multiple occasions.
Yeah, we can confirm that Donald Trump lied over 30,000 times in his first term. But when people lie, they do so in furtherance of their own goals or in furtherance of the goals of one else. Right? Obviously, when Donald Trump said that he did this, he wasn't furthering his own goals. And obviously, when Donald Trump said this, he wasn't furthering the goals of anybody else that he cares about, right? So, I mean, just saying that he lies on other occasions in reference to self-benefit and self-preservation, right, wouldn't say that therefore he was lying when he said something that's incredibly detrimental to himself, if anything, right? Because we know that he's willing to contort reality to such a grave extent to make it seem like he's the good guy all the time, that he's the one that's helping, when he admitted that he wasn't and that he like walked in on these women and girls changing while they were naked, right? It demonstrates that not only, right, is this something that he's done, but he bragged about it in a way that he thought it was permissible and or made him look good.
Yeah, I know you're like in your 20s and you don't know the true Howard Stern of the 90s, but he's doing it as a way to gain favor and to impress Howard Stern. Because the old Howard Stern, just watch Howard Stern Private Parts. You will see the misogynistic Howard Stern that used to do various grotesque things on air that would get him fined
that's you defending this behavior, because again that's just showing up the environment that Trump was willing to put himself in.
Yeah, I'm saying that Trump possibly is lying because I haven't heard contestants saying that this happened. I heard contestants saying
there was an 18-year-old that came out, said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms and Donald Trump would barge in. You're just not telling the truth. You said that there were none of the people that came out and said that. Well, they came out and said this, and then you're going to be like, what's the evidence? Because you don't believe any of the 26 women that have accused Donald Trump, more than 26 women that have accused Donald Trump of sexual misconduct. You don't believe a single one of them. You think every single one of them is lying.
Only
also like, this is also like saying like your first thing, like, oh, he just wanted to impress Howard Stern and get him clicks. This is like saying that the Predators at like Gideon or the Predators at like Mr. Hansen, I forget his first name, right? Like will catch and talk to that will then admit to these things. We're like obviously just lying so they could help like get the TV show clicks. Like this is like crazy. Like I'm sorry, but you're just playing like games to defend sexual exploitation, and it makes you like an abysmally weak, spineless man.
Well, only one took Trump to court. The other one dropped her case and used a pseudonym with Al Taylor, who used
Wait,
a
you wouldn't even
pseudonym
if it
that was
goes through the
Norman
context
Lebeau.
of a court process, you don't even accept it then. So what are you talking about if it goes through a court process, whether or not you're going to accept it? What are you talking about?
Because it wasn't criminal, and it was all hearsay evidence. There was no physical
so you do
evidence.
accept the criminal cases against Trump, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you accept the 34 felonies?
Well, how do you take a misdemeanor and elevate it using
wait, you see
federal
what I mean? Now he
election
doesn't even
crimes?
accept the criminal
Well,
case.
you can't use federal election crimes at a state level, can you?
By the way, if you're saying this is a determination specifically by the state courts, it's not necessarily a determination that they couldn't make. It's obviously within the purview of what they can do, else it wouldn't have been granted specifically by the judge and the court process. You're just saying that the court process was not legal, so then why didn't the appeal process go through and limit that from happening?
Okay, Parker, I'm gonna hop on live.
All right, for sure. Have fun.
Because a state's only allowed to deal with time, place, and manner of an election. So what was one of the three predicate crimes that they all agreed upon?
One second. The Hoff, when you're done talking to Parker, right, I'm fucking challenging you to come to my live because I want to have a little bit of a conversation with you myself. Are you going to accept it? Are you going to accept the challenge? Or are you going to come over to my
As soon as
live?
I'm done here, I got to put my little one to bed. Depending on how long that takes, yes.
All right, the Hoff. I'll hopefully see you there. All right, I really hope that you'll be there. You know what I mean? Like you do these streams all day yourself. You know, it'd be the people would want to see it. But I guess I'm gonna go start my own live. Parker, see you later.
All right, for sure. I'll see you, man.
Yeah.
What was your point?
But yeah, what were the three predicate crimes, and why did the judge not give the jury the option, or tell the jury they don't have to agree on one specific predicate crime unanimously?
They don't need to. And by the way, let me just clarify here. Even if it isn't specifically a felony, it's still a misdemeanor, it's still a violation of the law. So the idea that we're pointing to here is that you don't even accept the determination specifically from a criminal court case. So if you're trying to bring up the dispute for all of these different women that have come out and accused Donald Trump of sexual misconduct, and your dispute is that they specifically didn't go through a court process, well, you didn't even accept the court process anyway. So that's obviously a ridiculous assertion for you to make. And again, that's also not a determination to say that every single one of them is lying. What is the probability of 26 different women lying? What is that? What is the probability?
Well,
very low, right?
Mean, it could be, but how many of the people were proven factual in the Michael Jackson cases? Because there was multiple of those, and when he finally went to court, he proved his innocence.
So so you're saying that there could be a case where there's 26 different people indicating that a certain person is engaged in sexual misconduct, and you're not going to believe it?
I want to see evidence on it.
That's evidence. 26 different people indicating this happened is evidence. I have a question. Are you Christian?
No, I really don't go with religion.
But are you Christian?
Like, yeah, my background, but I don't do anything religious.
No? Okay.
No.
All right. I was just saying.
I believe more in science of things than I do in anything that the Bible has to say on stuff.
Sure. Okay, so but like, do you understand my points there? That like you have good enough reason and evidence to indicate this. There's clearly 26 different people specifically that indicate this to be true. If there's 26 different people that specifically indicate something about a first person set of circumstances, that's very good evidence to indicate that this thing happened, because it's very unlikely that many people specifically are lying. Right, over decades of time. We're talking about like his ex-wife. We're talking about so many different types of people specifically. There's no coordination to say that you could specifically say it was a group of people or anything like that. So it's very obvious that there's very, very good reason to believe that this has happened. If you don't believe even one of them individually, acknowledge that the likelihood of 26 different people coming out specifically and talking about the fact that this happened is good reason to believe that. Like if this happened to one of your friends, 26 different women came out and said that they engaged in sexual misconduct towards them, would you believe them, or would you believe the 26 women?
I would have to see the evidence, because he has money. And there's motive there if they think they can get a settlement out of him instead of going through the whole court proceedings. Like, it's much easier to wipe away with an NDA settlement.
Coordination. You'd have to indicate that there was coordination amongst the 26 different people. And most of the people specifically didn't even go through the court process to be able to get that in the first place. So if it's specifically about money, then how come they didn't go through the court process?
It doesn't have to be about money because all they have to do is settle out of court. They can make an allegation to him and settle out of court.
They didn't even do a settlement.
Okay, so then what's their claim? When did the claim happen?
If there was no settlement, if there was no court case, what was their point for lying under your view?
Well, when did they first make the accusations?
Like, for example, his ex-wife, right, specifically did so in the divorce decree.
She did in the divorce decree, but didn't she take that away then?
I don't know when she took that away. Could you show me?
Yeah, let me double check because I thought she ended up saying it never happened then, and that it might have been just a rage of divorce.
No, I'd love to see the position for that. I'd love to see anything. There are people saying in the comment section that he threatened to take her life or something. I don't know. I'd have to see what you're specifically referencing.
Yeah, I don't know. I was under the impression that she did remove the claim, but I gotta double check.
Okay, but like, do you understand that there's 26 different people? There's many of the individuals specifically that, right, again, have nothing to do with these particular circumstances, didn't even go through the court circumstances, didn't make any money off of it, yet specifically still said these particular things were true.
Again, when was the timing of the claim? Oh, yeah. So Ivana effectively removed her claim that he raped her.
Did she remove the claim about domestic violence or an abuse or anything like that? So do you believe... Okay. So, I mean, that's actually something that was news to me. I'd have to go and look at that.
She said she felt violated, but it didn't mean that it was rape in the literal criminal sense, as love and tenderness was absent.
Wait, in a criminal sense is specifically referencing, right, that at that time, wasn't there like a different criminal sense of rape that didn't even apply in the context of marriage?
Well, yeah, because she said love and tenderness was absent. She called the story totally without merit.
I'm confused. I'd have to look at what you're referencing. But do you accept any of the other claims that she made?
What other claim? I'd have to look into each claim. Like, there's so many claims. It gets ridiculous when talking about Trump.
No, it's because you're not even willing to actually engage with the fact that it's extraordinarily unlikely for 26 different plus people to be engaging in lies, specifically, especially when there's no monetary basis to this for every single one of them. And also, again, even so, like, having a monetary basis for it is not a reason to say that someone's lying. That same evidence is indicating that people just going on these different platforms are lying. Like Charlie Kirk is lying then.
Well, when are they making these claims? Are they making these? Are they making these claims before he had any ambition of running for president? Are they making these claims after running or during running or while president?
That doesn't matter.
It does.
You understand?
Because they could be out there to hurt his character as a president.
No, it could be good reason to come out and after your abuser, specifically given that they've been able to run for office. That makes sense to do. So I don't think that that's a reason to say that like this didn't happen to someone. I think you're just blaming the victim instead of acknowledging that it's actually probabilistically likely for victims to take decades to come out in often circumstances. So I don't think that this is a good reason. And also, like, I mean, there's 26 different women. So the fact that you're making one particular assertion like that is not going to be true in all these different circumstances. So say you don't accept one of them, that doesn't mean that all of the other aren't true, right? Now, again, you'd have to say every single one of the women are lying. Do you think every single one of the women are lying? Is that your position?
I don't know. I don't know the case in all, but I know the Katie Johnson one, when she filed in California, although it was filed incorrectly, the judge said there was no evidence for the case. Also, she was tied to Norm LeBeau.
You understand that's because they specifically pulled out of the case because the fact that they were being harassed?
No, not that case.
Yes, that is that case.
That was the New York one. That was the New York one. In California, she first filed with Norm LeBeau, who was the executive producer for the Jerry Springer Show, and the judge referenced that there's no evidence in the case besides the fact that they filed incorrectly.
Okay, I'm confused. Why are you specifically providing, again, one case that that to say that like you don't accept all of them. I'm asking about the probability specifically of every single one of the cases being false. Do you think every single one of them is a lie?
Yeah, I have to look at each and every one of them, but in that one, we can already refute it. Even the attorney she had in New York doesn't want to talk about her.
You can't say it. No, tell me, what is the probability of every single one of them being a lie?
I mean, it's going to be a lower probability.
Very low. Extraordinarily low. Like, think about it this way. There is a 2 to 10% likelihood of just an accusation being a false accusation in the context of this sense. So if that is true, right, that means that you would do that and multiply that by 26 different times, okay? So you're already at a 2 to 10% likelihood. And then that is made even lower every single time to just happen one time. All you need is to happen one time out of 26.
Yeah, all you need is one time.
That's like such a high percentage likelihood that this happened. The idea that you don't accept this actually concerns me because all of the evidence indicates that, probabilistically speaking, it's like 99% likelihood that this guy did it.
Because we have no evidence. The only court case that was brought forward.
Evidence. What is evidence? Can you define what evidence means?
Well, what evidence? They did not bring anything forward besides E. Jean Carroll.
What does evidence mean?
Well, evidence could be physical, or evidence could be witnesses. Evidence could be.
Here, I'll tell you. Evidence is like where there's probability pointing towards something being true. That's what we typically see as evidence. It increases the probability of something being true. And what I brought up indicates a probability of like 99% that Donald Trump has done this. Because that is the likelihood, specifically, right, of 0.01%, right, the likelihood that all of the 26 plus women are lying. That is the likelihood if you multiply it out, right? Because all you have to have is one scenario of them telling the truth in order to say that specifically there's enough reason to say that Donald Trump is someone that you shouldn't support. Okay, and the likelihood of 26 different people lying is so exorbitantly low. Like, seriously, think about it.
Again, besides their words, what are their evidence?
That is evidence. That is genuinely evidence. We can talk about each individual circumstance, but that in of itself is the best possible reason I could provide you because it's probabilistically indicating that it's so fucking unlikely that it's wrong, right? This is evidence. It's like 99% evidence plus, right? Indicating that this guy fucking did something that you think is enough reason to not support him.
Okay, if that's enough evidence for you, I'll go get 50 women to double the numbers and make claims about you, and then there's your evidence. They're going to make claims, they're going to have hearsay,
so you're
and we'll
saying
see how that's going to pan out.
So what you just said is that you're going to go find people specifically, 50 people, to make up claims about me specifically so that you can do so and coordinate people, right, which shows a mechanism for coordination, also shows intent of you doing so on the live, right, comparative to what we see in this scenario where there's people from all over the context of the United States in different specific areas that don't have an affiliation in terms of collaboration, that there's no basis in specifically saying this for, right? None of these things are true. Those things are completely radically different. You are purposefully and intentionally collaborating, getting people to come together to intentfully do that. Whereas in the scenario that you're bringing up, that's not true. These are all credible victims, different individuals that have came out and talked with a set of scenarios, and it clearly incriminates him. Not only his behavior, his constant behavior, saying that he grabs women by the vagina without asking, saying he did 10-year-old girl in 10 years, bragging about walking to the changing rooms of naked women while they're changing without the consent, where an 18-year-old came out, said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms and Donald Trump would barge in. All of these things indicate absolutely atrocious and horrible behavior specifically on behalf of Donald Trump. The fact that you don't indicate this to be probabilistically speaking indicating Donald Trump is a horrible person who's done this particular types of actions or is very, very likely to have done so is actually concerning to me. At what point would there be enough evidence for you? Because this indicates for fucking 99% likelihood that this is the case if you extrapolate out the probability.
It doesn't, because they can't showcase anything other than their own words. Also, quit taking stuff out of context, because he's talking about groupies when he says grab him by the pee.
No, you're so disgusting. You're so
no,
gross.
no. He talked about.
He's talking about how he grabs women by the vagina without asking.
In the 80s, and you don't know about groupies with rock concerts.
I'm sorry. I don't think it's okay to grab people by the vagina without asking in any of these scenarios, right? You have to establish consent, right?
You don't know about groupies? Because that's what he's referencing.
I'm sorry. You have to establish consent regardless of who you're talking about. You trying to dehumanize, right? Specifically women in the context of the scenarios where specifically, right, they're engaging intercourse with, like, for example, celebrities, right? It doesn't actually justify the fact that they don't, like, deserve consent. That's fucking nuts. Every single person deserves consent. The fact that you're referencing this in a scenario to even take away from that just by specifically calling them quote unquote groupies is actually disgusting and shows that you dehumanize women. It genuinely does.
It's not, considering he said they just let you because they're groupies, which a groupie typically will do.
Wait. He said he was doing so and he doesn't even ask. He said he was doing so and they didn't even ask. You have to clarify these things prior, right?
Oh, you
don't just grab people by the vagina without asking. That's not how it works. No celebrity should just be able to grab people, right, in those particular areas without having consent.
Yeah, at this rate, we'd be a nation full of virgins because I don't know.
Consent? Asking for consent? I'm sorry.
No.
Are you saying every sexual encounter you've ever had? Are you saying every sexual encounter you've ever had that you've never asked for consent or engaged in consent prior?
No, you can tell how the situation is going.
Answer the question. You said all of us. You said every single one of us would be fucking virgins, meaning that we would have never engaged in sex. You're projecting your own particular idea that people don't get consent prior. I want to let you know I get fucking consent.
I don't ask for consent because I know how the mood is going. I know if it's going to be a situation where it's going to lead to that, or
that's
no,
fucking
because
disgusting.
you can tell.
That's actually fucking disgusting. What are you talking about? What do you mean you can tell? What do you mean you can tell? You don't.
How long have you been on the dating scene? Are you just new to dating?
I'm 23 years old. I'm in a 2-year-long relationship. I've held a relationship longer than you ever have in your life. What are you talking about, bro?
I'm 40 years old. I was married for 10 years, and I'm married for 5 now.
Okay, well, then I apologize, man. Married, well, of course there was a divorce.
And I have kids. So, obviously, I know what I'm talking about. You can tell if someone is into it, that if you're going to do it,
I'm sorry. You said that you're 40 years old and you've never asked for consent prior? That's fucking sad. That's disgusting and gross. All you're doing is telling on yourself right now. You're telling on yourself right now. You're fucking 40 years old and you've never asked for consent.
No, because our nation.
What are you talking about,
when
dude?
I was younger.
What are you
wasn't
talking
a nation
about?
Full of little.
What do you mean? People who needed consent? Yes, people need consent. I'm sorry. People throughout history need consent. I'm sorry. The fact that you didn't feel like you needed to apply consent is a fault on behalf of yourself. It's not a fault on behalf of specifically where we are. Hello? You're the one fucking literally telling on yourself. You never asked for consent.
No, I'm not.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Because there's this whole thing of no meaning no.
Consent's required. You need to clarify consent prior.
You know, if you make a move and she says no and you stop, that's the end of it. You know about making a move, she'll tell you to stop, that's the end of it. It kills the mood or unalives the mood when you ask for consent.
It does not kill the mood when before you fucking touch someone's vagina, you ask or clarify prior. Have some mechanism for clarification.
Yeah, there's a thing called foreplay. You work up to that. You don't immediately go asking
that all
for that
indicates
stuff.
In the context of foreplay, there's consent to engage in foreplay prior to engaging in foreplay, right?
I know. Like, do you know the bases and rounding the bases to understand if you're going to get the home plate?
What do you, dude? You understand that we're specifically talking about the fact that you have to verify consent. You have to have these particular boundaries established. If you are never verifying this prior, you did not fully make sure that it is the case that is true or someone is comfortable with it prior to going and engaging in this. Yeah. Saying that you didn't specifically have mechanisms for informed consent throughout the context of your life is not justification to not apply mechanisms for informed consent, especially now. I'm sorry, everyone should care about informed consent. Consent is not specifically something that takes away from literally being spontaneous. It's not something that takes away from the quote unquote mood. Clarifying before is just making sure that people are comfortable.
It definitely does.
It is not too soft to fucking have consent. I'm sorry, that's insane.
It definitely is. It unalives the mood.
By the way, you said that you've never asked for consent, not even in the very beginning of a relationship, specifically before you've even established those boundaries.
I don't even have one night stands. That's the problem. I don't go out and seek out gratification from someone for one night. I get to know the person, and I get to know when it's appropriate to do stuff and when it's not appropriate.
You understand that outside of the context of one night stands, you can also do it prior to someone being comfortable with it?
Of course, but I know the person, I know where things are leading, and I work up to stuff. I've never had the issue because I have full understanding of the relationship.
So if there were 26 different people that came out specifically about someone that you knew in your life and said that they engaged in sexual misconduct towards them, right, would you specifically stay friends with that person?
I would have to see the evidence to prove I shouldn't be friends with them.
Say you couldn't actually look at any of the evidence, right? You weren't able to, but just based upon that one piece of information, what would you do?
I would support my friend until I see evidence saying otherwise. Because there's a whole, like, in this context, he is a billionaire.
You would stand with a friend that literally 26 different women accused of sexual misconduct?
Because he is a billionaire that was running or is president when they made these allegations.
I'm sorry, that doesn't.
How many allegations were made?
That doesn't happen with every presidential candidate. That's ridiculous.
Well, yeah, Tara Reid made allegations. Tara Reid made allegations.
In court and fled to Russia. You're not talking about 26 different people specifically that are going after one particular person for sexual misconduct.
Yeah, also, he's not the established norm. He wasn't a politician before he started running for president. He was a businessman that even Republicans didn't fully support and didn't like some of the policies and support him in his first term.
Yeah, but you're sitting there and standing behind him now.
Of course, because I like the policies.
No, that's fucking insane, bro. I'm sorry. You said that at the point in which, even when Dean was on the live, you said at the point in which they meet, sexual exploitation, you wouldn't support them. We gave you multiple different circumstances how Trump is engaged in sexual exploitation and gave you very good reason to believe that this is true. What policies are so mighty fantastic that make up for this?
All you did is tell how someone's had hearsay. What was their evidence in these claims that wasn't just straight up hearsay?
So again, when we brought it up, the fact that there was a DNA on a dress, the fact that there were multiple other people specifically, the fact that there was a psychiatrist that verified the trauma, the fact that there was multiple other people specifically that she told at the time that verified a consistent story over multiple decades. Again, name the policies specifically that make up for all of these particular pieces of evidence that indicate that Donald Trump is guilty for this. And you say evidences and pieces of evidence like that's going to change your mind on this, when I gave you an argument that would indicate like 99% likelihood of this being true. And you didn't even respond to that.
Well, yeah, because the only physical evidence they had was the dress, but they didn't give up the raw DNA initially of the dress. They only gave up the basic report that says it's unverified male DNA on it, but not how they conducted the testing and not the raw DNA of the testing.
So in order to compare against Trump's DNA, Trump would have had to give up his DNA within the time slot allotted. Trump didn't give up his DNA within the time slot allotted.
Well, then why did the judge say that he wasn't going to force the E. Jean Carroll's defense to give up the raw DNA for Trump to give up his DNA? Why did the judge say it was in that first time he was offering that it was past the time of limitations? Because that was the second time.
This was all past the time. The judge acknowledged that this was Trump's mechanism specifically for trying to make the court process take significantly longer, that he wasn't going to play into it. So that was
that was the second time. The second time he said it was prejudice to E. Jean Carroll because of the timing of it. But the first time he said there was 3 years to litigate it and that he wasn't going to force the E. Jean Carroll's team to give up the raw DNA of the testing, the appendix page.
Yeah,
that's the only thing he said on that.
Yeah, when they literally couldn't test it.
They could test it because
no, they couldn't.
Trump offered his testing for that appendix.
Because this was after the context of the thing. They couldn't do it because it was after the context of the time slot allotted. I don't know where you're getting this information from.
The judge didn't say that.
It was after. Yes, they did. The judge indicated.
No, that was the second time.
Wait, the second time, which is reaffirming the truth specifically about what happened, and the second time specifically they brought this up. Why would you act like that's irrelevant to mention? Because it was the second time.
Yeah, the second time he offered his DNA was purely just to get it tested. They didn't ask for anything in return, but the judge said it was prejudice to E. Jean Carroll because of the timing. The first time they offered it,
meaning that it was after the time slot allotted. I already addressed this multiple times.
Yes, but the first time he offered, the judge never mentioned anything about the timing of it. The judge just said they had 3 years to litigate it, but the fact that he's not going
timing, that literally mentions the timing.
But he said he's not going to force the E. Jean Carroll's team to give up the appendix for the testing to be done. He didn't say they couldn't test. He just said he's not forcing E. Jean Carroll's team to give up the appendix.
Then we'd have to know specifically. I'm pretty sure the connotation was because they didn't have the ability to, given that it was after the time. I would love for you to give me
No, he didn't.
Otherwise, because that's specifically what I've seen.
Well, that's not the way it went down. He said specifically that it was 3 years to litigate it, and he's not going to force their side to give up the appendix that has the raw DNA for Trump to have his DNA tested against. He didn't say anything else about timing, that it was too late or anything of the sort.
That means it was after the time slot allotted, that because it was already affirmed.
Then why would he not just mention that and say it doesn't matter? He didn't. He said it was 3 years that they had to litigate it, and he wasn't forcing their side. No. Then he wouldn't have to.
Okay.
If that was the case, he wouldn't say, "I'm not forcing their side to give it up. If they want to give it up, they will."
You're literally telling us how he engaged in talking about the time slot while saying that he didn't engage in talking about the time slot. What are you talking about?
Because there's no reason to mention that he's not forcing them to give up the appendix in this. If they don't want to give it up, they don't have to.
Okay.
There's no reason to mention that if it's past this timing and the case is going to start soon to trial.
All right. I don't think we're moving anywhere at this point.
I know. I got stuff I got to do. Take my little one and put her to bed. You have a good one.
Gerald, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you. Jarrell, thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, Jarrell. Yes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And Jarrell, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, I'll have to see. Maya, thank you for the $1. Madeline, thank you so much for the $1. He definitely doesn't, by the way. Kara, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $20 on PayPal. Thank you so much, Kara. Can we have some W's for Kara in the comment section right now? Thank you. Thank you. Let me thank some people on YouTube. And then we're going to get off for tonight, everyone. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. I would really, really, really appreciate it, everyone. I might hop on later. I'll keep y'all updated. I'm not quite sure. We did hit 4 hours, but I'll keep everyone updated. We're going to send everyone over to Dean's Live here in a second. But, and Arctic, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. Thank you. Jay, I really appreciate the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Jay. Thank you. Actually insane. I know, right? DK, thank you for the $10. Eli, thank you for the $10 as well. DK with a 10. I really appreciate it. Jay again with a 10. Steve, thank you so much for the $2. Essie, thank you so much for the 5. DK with the 5. Thank you so much. Linz, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. Thank you so much. Jade, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you. I think I'm fully caught up, everyone. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it coming on the stream. I'll see everyone later tonight or tomorrow. I love y'all so much. I'll see everyone later. Peace out, everyone. Peace out, peace out, peace out.
Huh?
Okay, Max, you want to respond?
Well, I wasn't.
You want to
I
respond
didn't-
to the prompt?
Yeah, I didn't have no smoke for Doc. I don't think. I just was listening to you guys talk in the prompt, right?
Okay, go ahead.
I wasn't too sure what it meant, right? So I went and looked it up. And you guys are referring to 2-parent households, right? And you're saying that's rooted in white supremacy, correct?
We're saying the nuclear family is rooted in white supremacy, yes.
And and you guys' definition of nuclear being two parents raising the kids, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't necessarily see how that would be rooted in white supremacy, being that that's the only thing that can make us function in America. That's the biggest.
The only thing? I'm so sorry.
For sure,
Wait. Please let me
I'm
jump
just trying to
in.
get my thought out. Can I do that or no?
No, are you?
Let him
that
go
it's
on
the
get his
only
thought
thing?
out, Carolina. Go. Let him go ahead and say what he need to say. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. So I was just saying, from my experience, right, which is pretty much what we're all speaking from, our personal experience. I'm a father. I'm a husband. My wife doesn't work. I don't use my mom for anything. We're pretty good, right? So I don't know necessarily where it's rooted in white supremacy. It works. Most of the they say the kids that are raised in 2-parent households are more